Wang Teng died at the hands of some street gangs on Earth and found himself alive in a classroom. He then saw his blonde friend, who asked him to go to the Wild Rose Bar with him for a drink. He was surprised a bit by seeing Xu Jie after a long time, who looked younger than he remembered. He then looked at his selfie cam to confirm his guess, and was sure that he was in his 17-year-old self. He slapped himself hard and wanted to wake up from his dream, but he was still there. Xu Jie was still there. Everything was there, and couldn't be more real. So after a while, Wang Teng rejected Xu Jie for the party invite, and at that time, everyone gathered at the window and shouted for a girl called Manhua. He was surprised, so he joined them too, and saw a girl fighting a bunch of guys and moving like movies. Every attack she made was accompanied by wind. He pondered, but couldn't find any memory of Manhua being a good fighter. Then everyone was talking about fantasy terms like advanced martial arts and martial disciple. He again doubted if this was really his past. So to really confirm that, he needs to go to his own home and see if things match. On the way home, he searched on the internet and found out that 30 years ago, dimensional rifts appeared all over the world, and those rifts connected this world to another dimension where the Xianwu continent was. In the Xianwu continent, everyone could become a martial warrior by using a kind of energy. Scientists have studied the force and found that it might be dark matter. With the appearance of the rifts, the Earth seems to have changed in a significant way, as random people were very compatible with this energy and could harness this energy to become stronger. Humans weren't the only thing that changed, but also the plants and animals mutated and became much bigger, becoming a threat to human dominance. The nations of the world united to explore the dimensional rift, and armies and different specialists were sent to the Xingwu continent. And the first of those that went into the Xianwu continent became the pioneer for the future of the world. After some trials and errors, humans on Earth could cultivate in the right way. The countries came to a common consensus and published the cultivation method. Henceforth, it was the dawn of the martial arts era. Wang Teng was a bit hesitant to go home as he was unsure if his family would be the same. So he went in and met his mom with tears in his eyes. For it has been many years since he saw her as she died due to the grief of his father dying. In the past, he was from a rich family due to his family's business, but the company of his family went bankrupt after his dad offended someone, which also resulted in his own death, following by his mother and lastly him, who drank himself till full of grief every day. He was sure that there was no way gangsters would randomly kill people like him, so it was pretty obvious that it was the power whom his dad offended had pulled the strings, and all these had taught him something. If one wants to live a peaceful life, one needs money and political power. In this world's term, that would be becoming stronger. Here, the strong equals wealth, and it's the only way to keep the people he cares about away from being hurt. So with that goal in mind, he went to a nearby martial house equal to his previous world's gym. On the entrance, an armed guard asked him for an entrance inspection. The guard used a holographic scanner to scan his full body. He then noticed the force runes that were inscribed into the firearm, like an electronic circuit, which made them much stronger than any ordinary firearms. Even a martial warrior would get done in by this weapon if penetrated. He registered himself at the reception desk and was recommended to go to training hall number 2, as he was just a newbie. In the training hall, he saw balls. Not weight balls, but literally flying colorful balls, and noticed that everybody was blind to the balls, as if they didn't see them. So he touched one of the balls, and was informed that he gained strength by the unit of 1. He was then informed in a mysterious way that the balls were residual energy left by those who trained energy as they were unable to utilize the energy entirely. Later in the training hall, he bowed down at people's feet, as though he was going to worship them, but his hand would just rub their balls. Females were ashamed of his behavior and called him a creep, but he didn't care as he rubbed the balls of girls and boys alike. He was embarrassed many times too, but he was used to it after a while for the sake of becoming a man with steel balls. He was sure by then that he was the only person who had this ability. Then again, it wasn't that astonishing, for this world was a magical world. Then he saw that a gym guy came to him to give him some martial arts books, so he randomly chose one, which earned him a head bash and caused a meaty ball to appear on his head. After that, the ball rubbing got hardcore. He even chased a fat guy, as the fat guy was like a golden goose to him, for he was dropping fat balls every now and then. When he checked his status through his unique ability, he found out that he obtained new skills in basic fist and foot techniques by popping people's balls. Not to mention the strength and speed also increased by a very large margin. He was exhausted when he got back home. Mom told him to sit at the dining table as she gave him some noodles. When the dad asked him why he was late, he said he went to the martial gym of Jixin. Father Wang was surprised, for Wang Teng didn't like martial arts before, so he said that he recently understood the importance of martial arts, and began training in it. His dad was a bit happy and said that since he wanted to learn martial arts, he would try to hire the best teachers. But Wang Tang stopped his dad from calling a teacher and said he must test his talent first, and said that for now, he could just train at the Jingxin Martial House. Of course, the real reason Wang Tang refused was that his ability to pop balls substituted any need for teachers. Dad agreed and said that the Jingxin House was one of the 3 giants of China and should have good trainers. Then he took his leave and went to his room. Back in the dining room, his parents decided to buy some meats of star beasts to aid in his training in the future. Next day in the gym, he began rubbing the balls of people he knew and also those he didn't know. And after fusing the balls, he went to test his strength, speed, weight, and physique. He guessed that his skills were at the beginner stage of a martial disciple, so he made his goal to become an intermediate stage soon. During that session of scratching balls, he obtained basic sword skills along with other stats. So he went in and took out a sword. The onlookers were shocked, for he practiced both boxing and swordsmanship. When Brother Peng came, he also was surprised by Wang Tang's skills. Wang Tang also noticed Teacher Peng, so he greeted him. Wang asked Peng why he was so early today. He said that he was in his 20s and just an advanced martial disciple, so he needed to work hard to become a true martial warrior. When he left, he said that someone else was going to guide him today, as he had some emergency work. After that, Wang Tang began his next round of wool collecting. This time, it was a girl. He posed left and right as though he wanted to charm the girl, but in fact, he was just rubbing her balls. In the end, he was beaten till his head grew meatballs. He wooled the sheep till the night, and was satisfied as his strength finally reached the level of intermediate martial disciple. He gained blade skills and foot skills, along with a massive strength boost. When at the dinner table, he was asked about his day at the gym. He said that one of his senior brothers said that he was talented. His dad was happy to hear that, and assured him to practice well and not care about the star beast's meat that martial artists needed to eat. But he suppressed his urge to reveal his real strength, for it would be too shocking to reach the intermediate level after just 2 days of going to the gym. At that time, he got a phone call from Xu Jie and was told to come to the Rose Club, so he took his leave soon after. He remembers this club very well as he got the news of his family going bankrupt in this very club from Xu Jie. But he swore that he would change everything in this life, and was very confident with the ability to rub balls. He greeted them as they said he was late. He also saw Bai Wei, the pink-haired girl. Later, Xu Jie began drinking and chatting with them along with another guy called Yu Hao, who boasted that he was at the beginner stage of martial disciple. Then Xu Jie rebuked Yu Hao for not telling them about him training, and said Yu Hao needs to watch their back if someone bullies them in the future. As Wang Tang was flirting with Bai Wei, he remembered a guy named Yuan Zhen, who used to be one of their friends, so he asked Xu Jie about him. Xu Jie humped and said that Yuan Zhen was no longer part of their group, as he had become a lackey of Li Rongcheng. So Wang Tang said that everyone has their own aspirations, and there's nothing they can do. In the meantime, a drunk guy finally noticed them and went directly for Bai Wei. Just as he was about to grope her, Yu Hao, the beginner martial warrior, saved the damsel but was beaten by the guy. And Yu Hao told Wang Tang that the man was an intermediate stage martial disciple, while he was just a beginner stage. But when the man got closer, he was slapped shitless by Wang Tang. Wang Tang moved forward with hands in his pocket as though scratching balls. When the drunk man attacked again, Wang blocked it with only one hand and counterattacked with a punch in the abdomen, which cracked the made-in-China walls behind. In the process, he obtained more and more balls from him. Then the guy threatened Wang Tang and said that they would regret hurting him and asked for Wang Tang's name. So Wang Tang made up a lie and said that his name was Li Rongcheng. He gave the name of Li Rong because he hated this guy for making Yuan leave their group. And also he didn't want any trouble coming to him or his family before he got strong enough. And he was sure that it wouldn't take him long to become stronger with the help of his ability. When the man left, everyone laughed, seeing how Wang pushed the blame on Li Rongcheng. Even Xu Jie praised him. Then Xu Jie also rebuked Wang for not telling them that he had such firm balls. After they left, the manager of the club, who was hiding beneath a table, asked his lackey not to say anything about this incident to anyone, since Wang Tang was an intermediate martial disciple at such a young age. And it was impossible to be at the intermediate stage before 20, without the backing of a strong family. On the other hand, it was Zhao Gangbao who also had powerful backing. It's better to stay quiet. He then added that they should only tell the boss about this issue. When Bai Wei went to her home, she began fantasizing about Wang Tang, for he was so strong today. But little did she know Wang Tang only saw her as a friend. The next day at the branch of Jingxin Martial House, Wang Tang was groping balls as usual. He thought he was early, but still saw some people that were even earlier. Thus the gym was filled with Wang Tang's greetings, as he did a handshake with everyone and rubbed their balls in the process. He obtained more skill proficiency and stats, but it still felt slow on this floor, so he wanted to go to the upper floors, and found out that a beginner stage martial disciple wasn't allowed to go to the next floor. So he told his fat sheep that he had broken through to the intermediate stage martial disciple, which really shocked him. The onlookers who heard him almost dropped their weight balls on their feet in shock. Upon entering the second floor, he saw colorful light balls illuminating the room. There he saw the same fat sheep that he had met previously, and again chased him throughout the gym. The fat guy wouldn't be angry if it was a girl chasing him, but to be chased by a man with balls from time to time, he was so pissed. So he asked if Wang wanted to duel with him, and Wang Tang replied on one condition, which was to call him Big Brother if he won. But the fat guy didn't accept the bet, and ran again, but was eventually chased down by Wang Tang under the shock of his fellow trainees. Finally, he admitted defeat, and recognized Wang Tang as his big brother. Then he announced if anyone wanted to practice swords, guns, or fist with him, then they could join. But everyone ignored him, and called him stupid. He didn't care much, and went to the duel room where he fought for real with people, and also rubbed the balls of the opponent, which made him learn their skills. What they don't know is the skills they learned with their hard work for several decades were being retained by Wang Tang within seconds. After the end of the fighting, he almost reached the advanced level of martial disciple. His basic fist skills, footwork, and sword skills reached a perfect state, while his blade skill reached the big achievement stage. He then began thinking of why, of all people, he would have such a cheat ability that could make him reach almost the advanced stage of the martial disciple in days, which takes even the most geniuses years. But he had no choice but to rely on this ability now. Next day during lunch break at school, Bai Wei complained to Wang Tang as he didn't pick up her calls recently. Wang said that he had been busy recently. While the group was at the dining table, Yu Hao pointed at Yuan Zheng, who was wearing glasses and was behind a guy that looked beaten and bruised. Bai Wei pointed out that the bruised-faced guy must be Li Rongcheng. They began to ponder as how he got beaten like this. Then they all looked at Wang Tang. Wang Tang truthfully said that he didn't do shit. Li Rongchen couldn't hold his balls anymore and shouted at the group for laughing at his misery. But they didn't stop laughing but called him a dickhead, so Li Rongchen rushed with his fist to penetrate Xu Jie with his big dickhead. But his hand was caught by Wang Tang. Wang Tang told Li Rong not to take the words of Xu Jie seriously, but Li Rong didn't listen and struggled to break free from Wang Tang's grip. But when he broke free, he fell on his butt. Then Li Rong and Yuan Zhen fled while cursing Wang Tang and said to go to the stadium after school if he had the guts. When the group asked if he was really going to fight him, he said that he didn't give a shit about the fight. But even if Wang Tang didn't look for trouble, it came his way, nonetheless. When Li Rong didn't find Wang Tang at the stadium, he barged into the classroom with his men and asked for the duel again. Bai Wei shouted at Li Rong's cowardness as he was trying to fight Wang Tang with a blade when he didn't bring any weapon. But Wang assured her and started the fight with a borrowed blade. He then evaded Li Rong's attack and slashed him from behind. But Li Rong didn't give up as he again rushed with his full aura, but again Wang evaded him and knocked him out. How would Li Rong know that Wang Feng had almost perfected the basic blade technique, not to mention other weapons that he had mastered? Wang Tang then tossed Li Rong to Yuan Zhen and the other fellows. Yuan Zheng then understood that he had just left heaven and stepped into hell, and he regretted ever betraying the group. During the fight, speed was one of the biggest reasons to win against Li Rong. His stats, after days of scratching balls, reached an astounding 1356 at strength, 632 at speed, physic 121, and enlightenment at 51, along with his fist, footwork, sword, and blade skills that reached mastery level from perfection level. Outside the school, he saw Lin Chuhan working part-time at an ice cream shop, the same as in his previous life. And her fellow workers, as usual, offered to give her a ride back home. These two people competed against each other to get the attention of Lin Chuhan. Then they were reprimanded by the female manager while Lin Chuhan rejected them. Seeing all the flirting, Wang Tang also wanted to have fun, so he went to her shop and asked her to give him milk tea. She was surprised that her deskmate had come to this shop. After knowing that Wang Tang was the deskmate of Lin Chuhan, the duo started spewing some of their imagination, which annoyed Lin Chuhan. Wang Tang then asked when Lin was going home that day, and if she wanted to go together. She also agreed, as it looked like the only way to get the pesky stalkers away. And as expected, the two guys were disappointed. At the parking space, she thanked Wang Tang and told him she could now go by herself. But Wang Tang pointed at some people that were peeking at her from the corner, and asked if she really was okay. Seeing no choice, she then asked if he wanted her to ride the bike. But Wang Tang didn't reply, and just put the helmet on her head in a rough manner, and told her to hold tight. And before he left a warning to the stalkers. Then Wang asked how Lin Chuhan would thank him now that Wang Tang had helped her twice. In reply, she said that she would help him with the college entrance exams, and it would be easy as he was his deskmate. When they were in an alley, she told Wang Tang to stop and said she could now go alone from there. Before Lin Chuhan left, Wang Tang gave her the milk tea back and said that he didn't actually like drinking milk tea, but she replied saying he just took a milk tea to school a week ago. Then it dawned on Wang Tang that he used to drink milk tea a lot in the past. So he dismissed that matter as it reminded him of the past and bade goodbye to Lin Chuhan. Right after Lin Chuhan left, he heard a loud gunshot. There he saw a group of martial disciples possibly committing some crimes. The group noticed him, and the leader told his lackeys to take Wang Tang hostage since the police would be arriving soon. Wang Tang, seeing this, fled as he didn't want to get caught in the mess, but a bullet almost grazed him as the leader told him to stop running. And Wang Tang had no choice but to comply as he wasn't strong enough to be completely unfazed by the bullet. Of course, all this time, different types of plans of escaping began to hatch in his head. Soon after, the leader slapped him and dragged him to the van. And the fact that they don't know that he's a martial disciple is the biggest trump card he had, and he had to utilize this well. Not long after, dozens of police cars started chasing them, and when the cops started shooting, the leader showed Wang Tang and threatened the police to kill Wang Tang, so the cop cars immediately slowed down. Wang Tang noticed that these criminals even shot a couple of policemen, and he understood that when they escaped, he would also be killed. After hours of driving, they stopped the van and went into the forest along with Wang Tang. And in the forest, he finally felt that the chance to kill these people has arrived. So he immediately took action and killed the boss. And after killing the leader, he got the shooting skill. But he didn't waste time and immediately evaded the sight of the group in the darkness, got behind them, and shot them one by one with his newfound shooting skill with the leader's gun. But there were still some people left. But they were taken down one by one. He then faced a man that also shot him, but thankfully it didn't hit him. When he thought it was over, sudden nausea hit him for killing so many people, and just at that time, the man he thought was dead had shot him again. Luckily, it didn't hit him. He reprimanded himself for feeling nauseous at such an important moment. He then comforted himself, as he would have to get used to killing if he really wanted to get stronger. In the middle of the night, it was quiet in the jungle, as occasional howls of wolves could be heard. In the darkness, Wang Tang took one of the guns and hid it in the jungle. Soon the police came hearing the gunshot from the jungle, and Wang Tang acted like he was feeling mentally hurt after killing so many people. He couldn't just escape since the police must have recorded his face with a car cam when he was threatened as a hostage. And if he left, he would be a suspect. So he told the police that he killed the criminals with his advanced level of martial disciple strength. Next day at school, he picked up balls that enhanced his knowledge about the subjects that were taught in school. And it had become a daily routine for Wang Tang to be touching invisible things in school, which made him look like a creep. Shujie came over and invited him to a banquet at Miss Zhou's house. Wang Tang rejected him, saying he needed to go to the Jishin Martial House this weekend, but Bai Wei insisted that he must rest once in a while. So in the end, Wang Tang accepted their invitation. At the banquet, many high-ranking guests came. There he saw Li Rong talking with Miss Zhou. After a while, Miss Zhou came over to Wang Tang and asked his name. But Wang Tang told her that he was not worthy of introduction in front of Miss Zhou. But someone informed her that Wang Tang was the 5th young master of the Wang family. After that, she grabbed the audience's attention and said that they would be hosting a hunting competition today, and the person who caught the most prey would be given a secret gift. Wang Tang thought that it was really a good coincidence to receive a shooting skill just before the competition. He thought since many people would be using guns, it should be a very good place to gather light balls of shooting skill. As Shujie and Wang Tang were hunting, they were suddenly attacked by small bullets coming from the bushes. Soon after, a fox ran towards them and hid behind Wang Tang. And it turned out this was Li Rongcheng chasing the fox. Wang Tang then noticed that this fox was quite intelligent as it hid behind him who was the strongest and knew that he could save him. Thus, he rejected Li Rongcheng's offer to give the spirit fox away. Then Miss Zhou also said that they would let Wang have the fox since it was pretty intelligent, and it would be a pity to kill it. Then, suddenly, a huge explosion shook the ground as a mushroom cloud covered the sky above the forest. Then Miss Zhou told everyone to go back to the residence and not to panic. She then told her bodyguards to inspect the explosion. Everyone was surprised by the speed of the bodyguards as they moved as fast as advanced stage martial disciples. Wang Tang then told Xu Jie to take care of the white fox, as he would also go and take a look. When Wang Tang left, Miss Zhou also noticed, and was surprised by Wang Tang's speed, which revealed his advanced martial disciple stage. Then the bodyguards returned, and said that the sound came from extremely far away, and nothing happened within their area. So she just dismissed them and left. Wang Feng was jumping from tree to tree and saw deep pits on the ground, and thought that there must be a fight between high-level martial warriors. He was more excited than afraid, as he never rubbed the balls of a martial warrior. He was very curious, so he went closer, and saw a fireman laughing crazily after he killed another man. But the man's joy didn't last long as his head was penetrated by a bullet from Wang Tang. Wang Tang was lucky that he had a gun then. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to kill the man in a head-on attack. There he saw a light ball he never saw before, and it was about a fire talent that was at the beginner stage. He also saw some sword skills of fire killing, and many fire force balls too. He rubbed those balls and fused them. Immediately after, the system notified him of the description of the skills. A new talent column appeared in the system screen. But he was even more joyful when he saw that the ice talent balls and ice skills were still there after the Iceman was killed by the fireman. So he touched those balls too. And as soon as he touched the ice ball, his body became a battleground for the two different and opposite attributes. He thought of this possibility, but he thought the omnipotent system would make things smoother. He suffered intense pain from constant melting and freezing. But he persevered, and kept himself awake throughout the pain, and gradually succeeded in creating a balance between these two talents. After that, he went back silently to the residence. But as soon as he got into the banquet, he heard Miss Zhou announcing to everyone that Wang Tang was an advanced martial disciple. She then asked if he found out anything from checking out the explosion. Wang Tang replied that he was just a martial disciple and didn't have as much experience as the bodyguards she had, who fought many battles. And so he added that going out to check out the place was a waste of time, as he didn't find out anything. He then also said that a fire broke out where the explosion occurred, so he escaped from the fire. He was laughing inside as he was the one that set the place on fire to cover up his little crimes. Well, he didn't forget to hide his gun and his bike outside before coming to the party too. Then, after the party was over, Wang Tang went back home after giving Bai Wei a lift. Back in his bedroom, he was feeling really grateful as he listened to his curiosity and left to inspect the explosion. Otherwise, he would never be able to gain so much. He also gained rune weapons and gloves that could be sold for millions. Then he took out an egg, which must be the reason for the two warriors fighting each other. He contemplated the miracles of the system again, and was curious about what this system really was, and its origin, while he fell asleep. The next day he was in a hurry to go to the class as he was late due to the late night's banquet. But as soon as he got into his class, he was thanked by a group of students as they said Wang Tang told them in advance that this year's exam quota would be eased, and even the intermediate disciple would be able to take the exam, which didn't let them give up. Well, his previous self said this when he heard it from his father. After the class was over, he went to the pet store to try to find incubators for hatching the egg he got. On his way, he saw a star beast that was targeting him. It kept attacking him, and Wang Tang understood it came by smelling the scent of the egg. Just as he was about to throw the egg at the beast, he saw the beast that was chasing him killed with a single arrow that came from nowhere. Later, he found out that person that killed the bird was a martial warrior from the City Protection Bureau. But Wang Tang's focus was on a blank transparent ball that was dropped from the beast. But he was stopped from going forward by security personnel. Back in his home, he experimented with a new talent called Spiritual Sight, and found out that it let him see the energy types. He was very happy, as if this was true, then he would be able to find out a martial warrior's strength and talent type by using his eyes. But after a while of use, he felt that his mind was becoming tired, and he understood that it consumed spiritual energy to use this talent. But at that moment, he noticed that an energy source was approaching his direction fast. So he quickly went towards the location and saw a man who asked him about the explosion that had happened days ago. Wang Tang initially denied his involvement, but the guy pointed out the swords and gloves he was using, threatened him to hand them over, and also added that there was a big difference between a martial warrior and a martial disciple. Wang Tang pretended to give up to lower the guard of the guy. Then he attacked with the ice sword with his ice talent. But the guy blocked it, but to the guy's surprise, another blade covered in fire came towards him as it slashed on his chest. The guy was dumbfounded, for Wang Tang was able to use ice and fire talent at the same time. Then the guy created an earth wall to block the attacks of Wang Tang. But it was broken by Wang Tang's ice fist. Thus, the life of another martial warrior ended at the hands of a martial disciple. After the fight, he quickly grabbed the bubbles and gained earth talent too. When he got back home again, he felt the need to carry the weapons more safely. So he browsed the internet for any method to carry weapons, and found out he could use a weapon carrier casket. But when he went to buy it, he found out that he needed a martial warrior's ID number for the purchase. He was annoyed, and told the salesman to deliver it first, then he would tell him the ID number. But the salesman said he needed to register and have a certificate to use a rune item. Next day in class, Wang Teng was constantly looking at Lin Chuhan. She noticed it and became a bit embarrassed, but Wang Teng then asked her to tell the teacher to cover for him as he was going to skip class again. When asked where he was going, he said he was going to the Martial Art Association. Near the association, Wang Teng noticed that the majority of people living here knew martial arts. Thus, he wore a disguise to protect his identity and got into the reception room. However, his face mask caught quite the attention. Nonetheless, the receptionist guided him through the procedure, and Wang Teng also completed the process smoothly. In another place, a guy with glasses got a notification that said that Wang Teng became a martial warrior at the age of 17. They talked about how they also got a report of the same student being involved in killing criminals just days ago. So they looked at the surveillance camera and immediately recognized him. They also talked about how the reports say that Wang Teng became an advanced martial warrior after joining the Jixing Martial House within a month. After getting the ID card, he left the association and returned to the class. Back in the class, Lin Chuhan asked Wang Teng if he could lend her some money. She was embarrassed to the point of becoming as red as a tomato. Then Wang Teng asked how much. Then she timidly said 150,000 and that she would pay it back as soon as possible. Wang Teng didn't hesitate as he earned quite a lot these days by robbing people, not to mention his family was rich. He then comforted her, saying not to worry and just pay attention to her study. Wang Teng then wondered what made her stoop so low to seek money, so he followed her back after transferring the money. There he saw Lin Chuhan getting into her family shop that sells groceries. When he was hiding at the corner, he met a bald guy that looked as round as balls and threatened him not to look at them. Soon he found out about their identity as they started seeking money from the shop owner and threatened to close the shop if the money was not ready. Then Wang Teng saw Lin Chuhan's mother saying they got half the money after borrowing some and sought for a few more days to get the full money. But the bald man shouted that they had given them enough time and asked his underlings, who were martial artists, to destroy the shop. But Lin Chuhan stepped out and told the gangsters to take out the loan receipt, and she will give them 150,000 that they owed. Then the gang leader agreed, saying he would comply, but added that 150,000 was 3 days ago, and now, with the interest of 3 days, it would be 200,000. Lin Chuhan was furious and said that they would sue the gangsters, but the gangster didn't look afraid and said that it won't work, but if she became his girlfriend he could forgive all the loans. Then Wang Teng asked Lin about her father, and she said that he would see him later. When they got upstairs, Wang Teng saw a man that didn't have one leg, sleeping on the sofa. When asked, she said that his dad used to be martial warrior, but when he went into Xingwu continent, he not only lost his legs, but even his martial arts were crippled. So Wang Teng asked her why she wanted to practice martial arts so much, when she knew martial arts were filled with difficulties. In reply, she said in a cold tone that she wanted revenge, and added that, according to her father's teammates, he was trapped by the rival team, and almost died. So he asked if the teammates helped their families after the incidents, and she said that most of the time, they were in the Xingwu continent and couldn't return. But just after the incident, her young sister's sickness flared up, which forced them to borrow money from the loan sharks. Wang Teng was even more shocked knowing she got a little sister, and asked what kind of illness was so serious. She replied that they couldn't figure out the type of illness even after all these years. Then Lin Chuhan knocked on the door before going in and saw Lin Chuxia sitting on the bed. But Wang Teng was surprised by the number of balls she had. But Lin Chuhan warned him not to get closer to her sister, since she was filled with poisonous miasma. But how could he give up so many balls of this little girl? So he popped her cherry-colored balls which kept fusing with him, giving him poison force, and also gaining him a physique called lotus poison body. Wang Teng was surprised by the potency of the poison level. Then Lin Chuxia asked about him, so Lin Chaohan introduced Wang Teng, while Wang Teng pitied the girl for she couldn't even go out. And after absorbing her balls, he knew that it wasn't an illness but a powerful weapon that she got. But suddenly the girl innocently asked if Wang Teng was their brother-in-law, which made Lin Chuhan embarrassed beyond belief. Seeing the situation, Wang Teng smirked and got closer to Chuxia and greeted her. She was a bit surprised that Wang Teng wasn't afraid of her face. So Wang Teng patted her head and said, "Does he look like he was afraid?" She was shocked and asked how he was not affected by the poison. So he made up a lie and said it was because of a special drink that he used to drink in his childhood, which made him a bit immune to poison, and added that she could touch him if she didn't believe. So when Chuxia touched Wang Teng, she felt as though the sticky and gloomy air around her had suddenly disappeared, which gave her hope, thinking maybe Wang Teng could cure her. Seeing Wang Teng really not being affected by the poison, Chu Han also asked if he could help her sister. Wang Teng replied that if he got any solution, he would definitely tell her. Then she hugged her little sister and said that she applied for the martial arts exam, and would definitely become a martial warrior to find a cure for her. But then Chuxia said that Mom would be angry if she knew Chuhan was practicing to become a martial artist. This time, Wang Feng gained a powerful poison talent, which he could mix with his other forces and make it much more lethal. After he had dinner, he left the Lin family, and on his way he saw that his every basic skill reached mastery level except shooting skills. So he went to a shooting range and looked for people that were good at shooting. He pretended to be a fan of some sharpshooter and picked up their balls. There he heard about the guy talking about a legendary skill that could make the bullet change direction mid-flight. The guy also told about a story of a gunmaster who, for some reason, killed his own wife with his skills, and was later locked in a mental hospital in the western suburbs. When Wang Tang heard it, he planned to check out the guy for he might get some good light balls from him. Thus, he infiltrated the mental hospital by knocking out the receptionist, and then hid his body after changing into the clothes of a doctor. On his way, he met a mental patient and saw many spirit attribute balls. He understood that mental patients dropped attributes since spirit is closely linked with mental health. He checked every room and picked up the balls, and finally found out the room of the gunmaster, where he saw many balls floating around. When he got into the room, the gunmaster appraised and praised him for being a martial warrior at such a young age. Wang Teng was surprised for being seen through. However, the man just sought for some cigarettes from Wang Teng, so Wang Teng went back to the office desk and bought some cigarettes. But the man didn't even thank him, and just passed him a memory chip, and told him to leave after turning off the lights. Wang Teng was surprised to see the man giving him the memory chip so easily. But he didn't ponder much and got out. Today he gained another huge benefit as he got 55 spirit balls from the mental hospital. Back in his home, when he opened the memory drive to his computer, loud moans sounded in his room. But just as he was about to close the chip, thinking he had been scammed, he saw his progress bar in his system window improving bit by bit. Thus he kept watching the video, and noticed that it had many knowledge about the gun skill at the end of the video. And after he finished the entire video, he found out that his basic gun skill had changed into martial gun technique. A few days later, Wang Teng was being comforted by his parents, as they told him not to get frustrated if he didn't pass the exam, and said he could take the test next year too. And said that it would be difficult to pass the test, just after a month of practicing martial arts. Wang Teng was a bit hurt, seeing how little they believed him. Nonetheless, he didn't want to tell them about his strength yet. During that day's class, the teacher distributed the exam tokens to the people that were above the intermediate level of martial disciple, and Lin Chuhan was the first one to receive it, then followed by Wang Teng. Everyone thought Wang Teng used his rich dad to get a pass too, but Lin Chuhan knew it wasn't because he was rich, but because he had skills. Back in home, his parents again reminded him of the dangers of the martial exam, and said since he had little experience in battle, it would be very difficult for him to even survive the test. His mom also told Wang Teng to not risk his life for little power. But Wang Teng assured him that if he can't pass the intermediate martial disciple exam tomorrow, then he wouldn't be able to get in the real martial exam either way. Wang Teng bid his dad and mom goodbye, and again Dad reminded him that safety was the first priority, and he could always retake the exam if he failed. On the way to the bus, he met Lin Chuhan, who got on the bus together with him. After they got off the bus, they saw many students from other schools talking about the exam. There were also inspectors that were there to control the students and catch people cheating. Soon they separated, and Wang Teng came by himself to test his strength. He then saw many intermediate martial disciples being kicked out of the exam due to them being too old. At the top floor of inspectors, there was a discussion going on about how many geniuses would be picked this year. The inspectors were dumbfounded after they found out about Wang Teng's shocking result. Of course, he hid his strength quite a lot. Thus for the next few minutes, Wang Teng became a topic for discussion. Even Lin Chuhan was surprised despite knowing Wang Teng was strong. But there was one person that didn't like his result, and that was Li Rongcheng. But Wang Teng didn't care, and called his parents and told them the exam results. They were very surprised because they knew Wang Teng had just recently started practicing martial art exam. The duo became happy as they hugged each other and praised Wang Teng. Then the principal came looking for Wang Teng and said that if he could gain the same result in the real martial exam, then he would be rewarded with many things, and said that even the second and third place winners would gain a bottle of elixirs on top of many energy stones. Wang Teng replied that he would try his best to win for the school. They were then taken to a place to stay at night. But someone came to Wang Teng and said that the Minister of Education wanted to meet him. When in the office of the minister, he was told that if he revealed his martial warrior strength, then he would gain the bone of the star beast. The bones of rare star beasts are very expensive, as they could be merged with a weapon which might give the weapon specific characteristics. He then told Wang Teng that being low-key can sometimes backfire as a martial warrior needs a huge amount of resources to become stronger. and getting the attention of higher-ups is the best way to be provided with resources. Wang Teng pondered about what the minister said and took his leave. But before leaving, he said he accepted his deal, and promised him that he would win first place to get the beast boner. The next day they were escorted by an airship that was made by runic technology to the real test ground. In the airship, he found out that the technology of this airship was quite different from typical force cars and vehicles, as it was directly copied by runic technology that came from the Xianwu continent. Thus they were curious, and wanted to see what the Xianwu continent looked like, but they couldn't since they weren't even martial warriors yet. Wang Teng then asked Lin Chuhan if she knew anything about the Xianwu continent since her father went in, but she said that her dad didn't say a thing after coming back. After a while of flying, they landed on an island where the officials in charge informed them to collect battle uniforms when their names were called. When Wang Teng's name was called, he showed them his weapon and asked if he could use these weapons after the inspection. The inspector nodded and said he wouldn't be able to use the one-star weapon's power anyway, since he wasn't a martial warrior. Then he asked the inspector if they have any lighter combat suit. The inspector said that they have a lighter set of armor, but the defense is a bit weak. Wang Teng said it was all right and put on the armor. Even Lin Chaohan put on a tight-fitting combat suit. But before the group could properly get dressed, they heard a beast roar from the forest, which made everyone scared. Then one of the inspector announced on a hand mic the rules of the exam. They would spend 1 day and 1 night in this primary forest. Food, water, shelter should have to be arranged by the examinees, and they were told that to pass the test, they needed to kill at least 5 mutated beasts. The last score will be calculated by the level of the hunted beasts, and the more beasts one can kill, the more the score will soar, and higher score will let them admit into better martial university. And they were also told that they would be observing them through the combat suits they were wearing, and pressing the alarm button would result in rescue. But it also meant the person would be disqualified. And they were also told that students are prohibited from killing one another, but they could fight and rob people. And lastly, he asked if anyone wanted to quit, and one by one, quite a few people wanted to quit, for they didn't expect the risk of the exam to be so high. Then the exam started as everyone left in a different direction. Wang Teng came across a lizard after not finding any beast for hours. But before he could attack, it slammed its elastic leg at his direction. But Wang Teng was faster, so he dodged. Then it released a red beam of energy toward Wang Teng, but was eventually slashed by Wang Teng and died. Wang Teng was a bit surprised seeing even monsters dropping energy balls. But what surprised him more was the fact that it dropped a blank attribute ball, which was much rarer. Wang Teng finally found a way to harvest blank balls, so he planned to hunt as many beasts as possible. In the monitoring room, the minister was amused watching Wang Teng. After a few hours, a few deaths occurred, and nearly half of the examinees had been eliminated. But the officials ignored it, and were talking about Wang Teng. Many officials from big universities expressed that it would be best for Wang Teng to join their university. But Jixin House said that Wang Teng was already their own member. Wang Teng found himself entangled in a fierce battle with a massive python beast that relentlessly attacked him. Despite the creature's ferocity, Wang Teng skillfully dodged its strikes and ultimately dealt a fatal blow with a single well-aimed strike. This formidable opponent mirrored the high-level muted beast, akin to the giant lizard he had confronted earlier. Although a bit more challenging, Wang Teng managed to handle the situation adeptly. During the encounter, Wang Teng glimpsed the python's face mid-attack. His reflexes allowed him to strike preemptively, anticipating the creature's movements. However, in the midst of this, an arrow whizzed past Wang Teng, narrowly missing him and embedding itself into a nearby tree. Following the trajectory, Wang Teng discovered a young boy attempting to attack him with arrows. In one swift motion, Wang Teng broke the archer's bow with a single strike. As Wang Teng continued to subdue his assailant with punches, he noticed the young archer repeatedly calling for someone. Initially puzzled, Wang Teng soon realized that someone was responding to the calls. One of the attackers, Li Rongcheng, condemned Wang Teng's ruthless behavior, questioning how he could be so harsh, even as an examinee. Li Rongcheng disclosed that he, along with another, had attacked Wang Teng from behind. Unfazed, Wang Teng confidently asserted that he had defeated Li Rongcheng multiple times in the past, prompting Li Rongcheng's desperate attempt to silence him permanently in the martial arts exam. Challenging Li Rongcheng, Wang Teng questioned the origin of the 2 other attackers and their motivations. Infuriated by the inquiry, Li Rongcheng impulsively attacked Wang Teng again. However, Wang Teng effortlessly defeated all 3 adversaries with powerful strikes. Li Rongcheng, who had funded the 2 attackers, was astonished to witness their quick defeat. Subsequently, a new opponent wielding a massive hammer emerged, attempting to strike Wang Teng. Wang Teng's punch shattered the hammer into pieces. As the skirmish unfolded, Li Rongcheng grew increasingly agitated. Another attacker, wielding a hammer, attempted a surprise attack from behind. Wang Teng, anticipating the move, delivered a decisive punch, thwarting the assault. Wang Teng observed that the fallen attacker possessed low-quality attributes but noticed valuable weapon-type skills. He proceeded to defeat them systematically to acquire their attributes. Wang Teng's merciless actions alarmed Li Rongcheng's two associates, prompting them to plead for mercy. Despite their pleas, Wang Teng continued to unleash a relentless assault until all their attributes were laid bare. Just as the opponents seemed defeated, one of them urgently sought assistance from a device. Acknowledging the plea, Wang Teng chose to leave the scene, concluding the intense confrontation. On a rainy night, Wang Teng ventured out in search of beasts, taking advantage of the darkness to confront nocturnal creatures. He skillfully dispatched wolves that crossed his path. However, his focus shifted when he noticed the ground beneath him cracking. The realization dawned upon him that an earthquake was underway, caused by a volcano continuously spewing fire and emitting ominous sounds. Simultaneously, elsewhere in the forest, Lin Chuhan found herself in a state of panic and began running for her life. The bewildering events left everyone clueless about the unfolding chaos. At the control room, an atmosphere of tension prevailed as the team discovered the presence of an active volcano on the island. Unusual movements inside the volcano triggered the earthquake. Upon learning about the volcanic activity, an official declared an immediate evacuation and ordered a thorough investigation to prioritize the safety of the examinees. An urgent email notification was sent to all candidates, instructing them to return to the examination center. The students, alarmed by the news of an imminent volcanic eruption, hurried back to the designated center. Meanwhile, a team of professionals was assembled to investigate the peculiar occurrences inside the volcano. As the candidates rushed back to the center, preparing for the impending disaster, the investigative team geared up for their mission. Suddenly, without warning, the volcano erupted, intensifying the urgency and heightening the stakes for everyone involved. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Wang Teng decided to make his way back to the center. The uncertainty of whether the volcano was about to erupt, or if there was another phenomenon occurring inside, left Wang Teng in a state of confusion. Simultaneously, his concern for Lin Chuhan added to the tension he felt. Suddenly, Wang Teng noticed three formidable warriors moving towards the volcano. Recognizing them as muscle warriors responsible for the protection of the examinees, Wang Teng inferred that they were heading to assess the situation. Driven by curiosity and a desire to understand the unfolding events, Wang Teng decided to follow the warriors. As they reached the volcano site, the three martial warriors prepared to investigate the situation. Concealed behind a tree, Wang Teng observed the scene, marveling at the destructive power and being captivated by the impressive attributes displayed by the warriors. Intrigued by the sight, Wang Teng contemplated the potential treasures hidden within the volcano. The thought of acquiring valuable items fueled his curiosity. However, as the group moved closer to the entrance of the volcano, Wang Teng hesitated, weighing the risks and uncertainties associated with entering the volatile mountain. Overwhelmed by the potential danger of the erupting volcano, Wang Teng was on the verge of deciding to retreat. However, in a moment of serendipity, he accidentally stepped on an ID card. To his amazement, it belonged to Lin Chuhan. Realizing that Lin Chuhan had been there recently, Wang Teng initially assumed that she must have heard the evacuation announcement and left in haste, dropping her ID card in the process. Despite this assumption, a nagging suspicion lingered in Wang Teng's mind that, what if Lin Chuhan hadn't heard the announcement and had ventured into the volcano mountain? Without a second thought, Wang Teng swiftly made his way towards the mountain, driven by the urgency to ensure Lin Chuhan's safety. Inside the volcano, Wang Teng found himself surrounded by fire forces and lava, trapped in a perilous situation. Recognizing the dire circumstances, Wang Teng pressed forward, navigating through the escalating temperatures. As he delved deeper into the cave, he discovered a significant accumulation of fire force causing the rising temperatures. Amidst the hazardous environment, Wang Teng heard the howl of a muted beast. This revelation alerted him to the presence of dangerous creatures within the cave, posing a threat to Lin Chuhan. Angered by the unexpected turn of events during the examination, Wang Teng questioned the circumstances that allowed such incidents to occur. As he ventured further, Wang Teng uncovered the existence of two star beasts guarding a power source within the cave. The unfolding situation intensified his determination to rescue Lin Chuhan and navigate the challenges posed by the volatile conditions inside the volcano. The star beasts proved to be both harmful and ruthless, prompting Wang Teng to fear for Lin Chuhan's safety. He worried that she might have fallen victim to these star beasts' ferocity. As Wang Teng navigated deeper into the cave, he began to suspect that Lin Chuhan might not have entered the cave at all, leaving him in a precarious situation. Suddenly, a commanding voice broke through the chaos, instructing Wang Teng to step aside. It was none other than a fire marshal warrior, prepared to confront the menacing star beasts. The heat inside the cave was overwhelming, taking a toll on the health of all the martial warriors. Gasping for breath, they faced the relentless attacks from the star beasts, whose roars echoed in the scorching environment. Wang Teng was taken aback as he witnessed the martial warriors struggling to withstand the onslaught. Despite their valiant efforts, the star beasts' continuous fire attacks were proving to be overwhelming. The warriors' health deteriorated rapidly, and Wang Teng, driven by a hint of greed, contemplated the prospect of collecting the dropped fire attributes. The star beasts, fueled by the intense heat, relentlessly threw fire attacks at the martial warriors. One warrior managed to withstand the onslaught for a brief period, holding the beasts at bay. However, the increasing heat and strength of the star beasts eventually overpowered him, hurling him miles away. Another martial warrior attempted to counterattack with swift slashes, but she too succumbed to the ferocity of the star beasts' relentless fire assaults, being thrown back with force. Meanwhile, the water martial warrior formed a water blockade, urging the other warriors to retreat as facing the two formidable volcano beasts proved exceedingly challenging. Unfortunately, the path of retreat was blocked by the relentless star beasts. Recognizing the dire situation, Wang Teng understood that the two star beasts posed a severe threat to the martial warriors' lives within the volcano mountain. Uncertain of how to proceed, the martial warriors decided on a desperate plan: to fight the star beasts until their last breath. The attacks from the star beasts intensified, becoming more lethal and dangerous with each passing moment. Despite the perilous circumstances, the warriors valiantly defended themselves. Wang Teng, assessing the grim scenario, realized that their chances of safely leaving the area were slim, and the possibility of their demise loomed. However, he couldn't bear to witness his fellow warriors succumb to the relentless assaults. The fire martial warrior reached his limits, unable to continue the fight. Suddenly, a cry emanated from one of the star beasts, causing them to cease their attacks. The warriors believed that a reinforcement team had arrived to save them. Unbeknownst to them, Lin Chuhan had stealthily approached from behind and initiated a surprise attack on the star beasts. Wang Teng took charge against one star beast, instructing the remaining three martial warriors to join forces against the other. Coordinating their efforts, the warriors unleashed a flurry of attacks on the star beasts. Wang Teng, with a powerful smash, successfully subdued one of the star beasts. The tide of the battle began to turn, giving the martial warriors a glimmer of hope in the face of adversity. The three martial warriors, aware of the imminent eruption of the volcano, swiftly devised a plan to dispatch the star beasts and escape. Utilizing their skills and intelligence, they maneuvered one star beast to a corner of the land, strategically dividing the ground into two parts. They then allowed the star beast and the separated land to sink into the molten lava of the volcano. Surprised by the swift victory, the martial warriors noticed another individual, who had arrived to aid them. Clad in a uniform, he resembled an examinee, and they were relieved to see someone familiar. Wang, though facing difficulties handling the remaining star beast alone, successfully subdued it. Wang Teng, content with the attributes gained from the battle, including wood and water elements, now possessing a total of 6 different elements, considered it a worthwhile endeavor. One of the water martial warriors expressed disbelief at the accomplishment, questioning if Wang Teng had truly slain the star beast. Wang Teng, nonchalant about their skepticism, inquired about Lin Chuhan. Speculating that she might not have even reached the location, Wang Teng informed the martial warriors that, in his opinion, there might not be a volcanic eruption, attributing the turmoil to the mistake of the star beasts. Expressing his desire to leave, Wang Teng was halted by the martial warriors, who informed him that, as per their rules, the slain star beast belonged to him. Wang Teng, pleasantly surprised, accepted the acknowledgement. However, as he examined the star beast for attributes, he discovered a star code embedded in its body, leaving the martial warriors astonished by the unexpected development. The martial warriors couldn't fathom Wang Teng's luck in obtaining a star code on his first attempt, especially considering their own experience of not having found a single star code despite encountering numerous star beasts. Wang Teng, with a touch of humor, playfully suggested that his charm might be the secret behind his luck, eliciting laughter from the others. Their conversation was interrupted when the governor and a team arrived at the scene for investigation and assistance. Wang Teng, awestruck by the governor's imposing personality and aura, was approached by the official, who expressed admiration for Wang Teng's performance in the actual combat assessment. Pleased by the compliment, Wang Teng felt a sense of accomplishment. The governor, recognizing the martial warriors' efforts, declared that their actions had prevented the eruption of the volcano, praising their bravery. The martial warriors, overwhelmed with a sense of achievement, were caught off guard when 2 star beasts approached the governor. The creatures conveyed that the examinees had been safely evacuated to a secure location, but the casualties were high. Concerned about the number of casualties, The governor inquired with one of the water martial warriors, who revealed that she had managed to eliminate one of the star beasts. However, the other had been taken down by Wang Teng. The revelation highlighted Wang Teng's significant role in averting a potential disaster, earning him recognition and respect from both the martial warriors and the governor. The water martial warrior emphatically stressed that without Wang Teng's assistance, they would not have accomplished their mission. Her words were met with skepticism from the staff members, who found it hard to believe that a young examinee had single-handedly defeated a star beast. Despite facing doubts, the martial warrior remained confident and suggested that they could verify her claim by examining the star beast, as the force used by Wang Teng differed from their usual methods. Upon inspection, the staff members confirmed that the force used to defeat the star beast was indeed ice force, an unexpected and unique attribute. This revelation left everyone shocked, and Wang Teng wondered if there was any issue with this type of force, or if it was considered a valuable attribute. The governor, delighted by the unexpected discovery, expressed his joy at finding such a talented individual during the actual combat assessment. Acknowledging Wang Teng's remarkable abilities, the governor extended an offer for him to join their martial house, promising to provide everything he needed for his development. However, before Wang Teng could respond, the owner of another martial house intervened angrily, claiming that he had already selected Wang Teng as his disciple. The staff of the governor swiftly removed the interrupting individual, and the governor instructed everyone to follow him down the mountain, concluding the unexpected turn of events. During the night's campfire, Wang Teng noticed Lin Chuhan looking confused and realized she had lost her identity card. Surprised by her unawareness, Wang Teng handed her the lost ID card. Curious about why Lin Chuhan was at the top of the volcano, Wang Teng expressed concern about the danger. However, Lin Chuhan explained that she found it to be a safe hiding spot, as there were no muted beasts around. Wang Teng, astonished, questioned if Lin Chuhan had managed to kill 5 muted beasts. Lin Chuhan, feeling a bit upset at the doubt, explained that she utilized the skills she had learned in the 5 years of martial arts examination and 3 additional years of training. Additionally, she applied her knowledge of herbal medicine to craft poison for the muted beasts. Later, reflecting on the day's events, Wang Teng, Lin Chuhan, and Yuajian sat in the tent, discussing the unfortunate accident during the martial arts exam. They pondered whether the results would still be valid, given the unexpected turn of events, expressing a sense of uncertainty about the outcome. Wang Teng offered his perspective, suggesting that the appearance of the beasts should not significantly impact the results unless there was an announcement to end the exam. In his view, the impact on the students' grades would likely be minimal, and he reminded everyone of the true purpose of the actual combat assessment, to assess the abilities of the examinees during unexpected events. According to Wang Teng, even if the examinees managed to kill at least 5 muted beasts, there should still be a chance to pass the examination. Yuajian was pleased to hear this, as he had saved an examinee during the combat, earning praise from the martial house's principal. However, the mood shifted when an announcement called everyone to gather in an open area. The students were surprised to see the governor personally present. As the governor began to address the crowd, students started expressing their concerns about the beast tide and how it might affect their exam results. The governor silenced the crowd and announced that the accident had occurred due to negligence, vowing to compensate the families of the examinees who had lost their lives in the incident. The unexpected turn of events left the students in shock as they grappled with the consequences of the tragedy during the martial arts examination. The governor, in his address, reminded the students that the world of martial warriors was far more challenging and brutal than they might have perceived. He emphasized the cruelty and bloodiness of their reality, cautioning the students that the path ahead would be 1,000 times more difficult. Despite the seemingly glamorous image of martial warriors' power, the governor added that the martial world was harsh. He informed the students that performance during the beast tide would be calculated in the overall result, and those who excelled would be rewarded with extra points. With this, he officially declared the end of the actual combat assessment, and preparations were made for the return to the city. As the 3 of them were heading back on the plane, Yuajian received praise for killing 13 beasts. However, he felt annoyed by the acknowledgement, labeling them as mere braggarts. Turning to Wang Teng, Yuajian urged him to share his achievements, confident that they would surpass everyone, including the class president Lin Chuhan. He believed Lin Chuhan would be pleased if Wang Teng's achievements outshone theirs. Wang Teng, in a calm manner, revealed that he had killed a total of 29 beasts, including 19 high-level beasts and 10 world-level muted beasts. This revelation left everyone astonished, with Lin Chuhan expressing disbelief and questioning if Wang Teng was exaggerating. Wang Teng responded by acknowledging that no matter how much truth he spoke, there would always be people who wouldn't believe him. Lin Chuhan, still in shock, couldn't fathom the extent of Wang Tang's strength, realizing that he had achieved a remarkable feat during the martial arts examination. In Wang Tang's mind, he hadn't revealed that he had killed the explorers during the combat assessment. However, Yan Peng, a boy in their group, made a skeptical face, and with a cunning smile, accused Wang Tang of being the #1 bragger in high school. According to him, Wang Tang's statements were full of falsehood, particularly his claim of killing 29 muted beasts. He urged the others to pretend they hadn't heard anything. Yan Peng chimed in, expressing that he had heard a lot about Wang Tang and was initially interested in a duel. However, based on Wang Tang's nonchalant talk, he now doubted the credibility of the stories he had heard. As they exited the plane, Wang Tang was cautioned by Yan Peng, who emphasized that they represented the #1 high school, and advised Wang Tang to think twice before making extravagant claims. Lin Chuhan, infuriated by Yan Peng's comments, stood up and accused him of going too far, demanding an apology. Yan Peng, trying to defuse the situation, claimed that Lin Chuhan had misunderstood him and that he was only speaking from the perspective of the school. Taking advantage of the moment, Yan Peng approached Lin Chuhan, introducing himself as a student from Xavier High School and an advanced stage martial disciple. He requested to exchange WeChat accounts to get to know each other better, seizing the opportunity to potentially build a connection with her. Suddenly, Wang Tang interrupted the discussion, apologizing for the interruption, and with a cunning smile, he stood up, revealing his red eyes to showcase his strength. Yan Peng was visibly perplexed, struggling to comprehend how Wang Tang could be so powerful. Undeterred, Wang Tang maintained his aggressive stance, challenging Yan Peng to a duel and questioning how he gained the confidence to challenge him. As Wang Tang continued to exude an intimidating aura, he questioned Yan Peng's worthiness of having a WeChat exchange with the class president. Yan Peng, sensing the tension, suggested resolving the matter through discussion. However, Wang Tang was not interested in talking and delivered a powerful kick, causing Yan Peng to collide with a seat on the plane. Yan Peng was both confused and frightened, assuming that Wang Tang might even kill him in that moment. Notably, the boy who had been laughing moments ago when Yan Peng mocked Wang Tang was now trying to hide, realizing the seriousness of the situation. Wang Tang, with a cunning smile, approached him and delivered a strong punch, prompting him to leave the area. Throughout this episode, Wang Tang's threatening demeanor had spread throughout the entire airplane, instilling fear in all the students present. They understood that offending Wang Tang in the future was something they couldn't afford, given his formidable strength. Upon reaching the city after the trip, Wang Tang headed straight home. While walking on the street, he contemplated exploring how the Star Boy actually worked. Upon entering his house, he discovered that no one was home except for his maid, Aunt Chen. Wang Tang, upon inquiring about his mom from Aunt Chen, learned that she had gone out early in the morning, and something seemed to have happened in the company. Aunt Chen was not aware of the details as Wang Tang's mom hadn't shared them. Concerned about his father, Mr. Wang Shengguo, who hadn't returned from his last business trip, Wang Tang rushed to the company assuming that something significant had occurred. Upon reaching the office, Wang Tang inquired about his mother at the reception. The receptionist, unfamiliar with Mrs. Li Xiumei, made inappropriate comments, and Wang Tang believed she had little knowledge of the chairman's wife. Fortunately, an old watchman, who had worked at the company for a long time and knew Wang Tang, approached him. Wang Tang was relieved to see someone familiar and asked the watchman about his mother. Mansun, the watchman, informed Wang Tang that Mrs. Li Xiumei was in the meeting room. He mentioned that boss Bao Qingze from a competitive company had arrived with a group of people, and there were suspicions that the deputy general manager from their company was planning to switch jobs. Wang Tang remembered Bao Qingze as the person who took over his father's company after the family's downfall in his first life. Annoyed by the encounter, Wang Tang moved towards the meeting room, determined to settle old and new grudges with Bao Qingze once and for all. Mansun also informed Wang Tang that Bao Qingze had brought many people with him, prompting Wang Tang to call security guards for support. Upon reaching the 8th floor, Wang Tang found the guards ready with their equipment. Despite lacking much education, they were described as daring, hardworking, and loyal to the company. Wang Tang, impressed by their confidence, ordered them to follow him to the conference room. Upon entering the conference room, they heard a heated argument among the board members. It became evident that their general manager had collaborated with Bao Qingze, the owner of a rival company, and was persuading Wang Tang's mother to sell the company to him. Wang Tang, along with the director of the security department, expressed shock at this unexpected betrayal. Interrupting the tense situation, Wang Tang knocked on the door and entered the room. Li Xiumei, Wang Tang's mother, seemed surprised to see him. Wang Tang informed her that he had heard about the issues in the office through Aunt Chen, and had decided to intervene. Bao Qingze, responding with sarcasm, suggested that it was an adult matter and advised Wang Teng to leave the room. The confrontation in the conference room unfolded, revealing the complex dynamics within the company. Ignoring Bao Qingze's arrogant comments, Wang Teng requested his mother to sit down and not take any stress. He observed that his cousin Dan Taixuan was also present, as their grandpa had heard about uncle's absence and the arising problem. Dan Taixuan had been instructed to investigate and assist Li Xiumei. Bao Qingze, displaying arrogance, commented on Wang Teng's lack of respect for elders and insisted that they were in an important meeting. He suggested that if Wang Teng had nothing relevant to discuss, he should leave the room. Ignoring this, Wang Teng continued to talk with his mother, infuriating Bao Qingze even more. Wang Teng, expressing his frustration, forcefully placed his bag on the desk. He argued that, as the son of the company owner, he had every right to be there. This angered Bao Qingze further, and he insinuated that Wang Teng's family had failed in teaching him manners. The deputy manager joined in, stating that if Mr. Wang Shengguo couldn't educate Wang Teng properly, Bao Qingze would take it upon himself to teach Wang Teng some etiquette. This indirect threat didn't sit well with one of the company's honest employees, who shouted at Bao Qingze for attempting to take over the company in Mr. Wang Shengguo's absence and insulting both Mr. Wang Shengguo and his son. Wang Teng reassured his mother not to worry, asserting that he would handle the situation. The tension in the meeting room continued to rise as the power dynamics and loyalty within the company became evident. Bao Qingze ordered one of his men to attack on Wang Teng, but Wang Teng with one powerful punch was able to defeat him. Wang Teng then, frustrated by Bao Qingze's deceit, confirmed that the building in front of them belonged to Bao Qingze. With a powerful display of his martial arts skills, Wang Teng unleashed a destructive force on the building, causing significant damage. The shock and disbelief among everyone, including his mother, were palpable. This sudden demonstration revealed Wang Teng's true abilities, dispelling doubts about his strength. Wang Teng, with a stern expression, issued a threat to Bao Qingze, warning him against playing such tricks again. He made it clear that the next strike wouldn't be on the building but on Bao Qingze himself, questioning whether he could withstand such an attack. Addressing the employees who had been gossiping about the company, Wang Teng asserted his authority. He warned them to stop their negative discussions and behave like proper employees until his father returned. Once Mr. Wang Shengguo returned, they were free to leave the company. The manager, realizing that his hopes of getting promised shares from Bao Qingze had vanished, was angry and regretful. However, Wang Teng's mother and sister were relieved and happy. Taixuan expressed confidence that with Wang Teng's support, their family would not face any challenges from other companies, ensuring their stability. Wang Teng instructed his mother and sister to leave the place. Upon returning home, Wang Teng questioned why Mr. Wang Shengguo had not yet returned from his business trip. Li Xiumei explained that Mr. Wang Shengguo had gone to a neighboring province to discuss a project, but there were issues with the interests of both sides, making it challenging to reach an agreement. The family remained in anticipation of Mr. Wang Shengguo's return and the resolution of the business matters. Wang Teng, learning about the situation with his father, discovered that the other party had resorted to kidnapping and extortion. The gang had threatened Mr. Wang Shengguo, demanding that he sign a contract with them. Wang Teng expressed concern about his father's safety, emphasizing the importance of life over business. Li Xiumei explained that the situation was complicated, and Mr. Wang Shengguo might have perceived potential risks in the project. Wang Teng, suspecting foul play, considered the possibility that those who had deceived his family in his previous life were making their move early in his current life. Determined to investigate the matter himself, Wang Teng instructed Li Xiumei to return home, assuring her that he would be fine. Taixuan offered to accompany him, suggesting that it would be more convenient to contact the person sent by their grandpa and gather information before taking any action. Upon reaching the neighboring province, Taixuan informed Wang Teng about an upcoming meeting. She suggested meeting the individuals recommended by their grandpa to gather information on the current situation. However, the manager conveyed that negotiations with the gangsters were proving difficult, as they seemed unwilling to release Mr. Wang Shengguo. Wang Teng, in his car, listened to the situation. He gathered information about the other party, learning that they were involved in various industries and held significant power in the area. Knowing that they had advanced stage martial disciples among them, Wang Teng realized that the situation was complex. Deciding to confront the gangsters alone, Wang Teng assured Taixuan and the manager that he would handle the situation. Taixuan, shocked by Wang Teng's decision, suggested paying the ransom and observing the outcome. However, Wang Teng, confident in his abilities, proceeded to the location where the gangsters were operating. As he arrived and knocked on the door, the situation remained tense, with uncertainty about how the confrontation would unfold. In the shadows of the night, Wang Teng approached the entrance of a seemingly private establishment. A guard questioned the person's identity, and Wang Teng, assuming a guise of a delivery man, attempted to deceive them. The guard, unyielding, demanded to know the purpose behind Wang Teng's presence, as it was late at night, and his intentions seemed dubious. Wang Teng, quick on his feet, explained that his boss had instructed him to deliver matchsticks urgently, cryptically signaling a hidden message. Despite initial resistance, the guard reluctantly led Wang Teng inside, cautioning him not to disclose the encounter. Upon reaching a room, Wang Teng faced the boss and was challenged about his strength. Wang Teng, without hesitation, demonstrated his prowess by effortlessly smashing the door open. The boss, intrigued by Wang Teng's abilities, questioned his audacity to infiltrate the territory of the Iron Fist clan. The guards, initially hostile, now directed their anger towards the boss for letting an unknown person enter. Wang Teng, unaware of the boss's formidable martial arts skills, found himself in a tense situation. The boss acknowledged Wang Teng's strength and potential, but questioned his decision to enter the perilous domain. In response, Wang Teng inquired about the presence of his comrades, to which the boss revealed that there were more than enough to crush him into dust. The boss, seemingly impressed by Wang Teng's audacity, declared his intent to fulfill Wang Teng's desires, a statement laden with ominous undertones. Wang Teng, fueled by anger, faced the boss's furious sword attacks. In a powerful display of his own strength, Wang Teng unleashed a devastating fire energy attack, incapacitating all the guards at once. The boss, witnessing Wang Teng's martial prowess, was left shocked. Seizing the opportunity, Wang Teng questioned the purpose of their presence and ordered everyone to leave immediately, emphasizing the importance of prioritizing life over reputation in such a perilous situation. The boss, realizing the futility of resistance against Wang Teng, instructed his subordinates to retreat swiftly. As the boss attempted to escape, Wang Teng delivered a powerful strike using a unique element, causing significant damage. Wang Teng demanded to know who had ordered the kidnapping of Mr. Wang Shengguo. The boss, fearing for his life, admitted that the directive came from a martial warrior in the capital, Xia. However, he pleaded for mercy, explaining that he had no choice but to follow the orders. Wang Teng, guided by his principles, showed no mercy and swiftly turned the boss into ashes, making a bold statement against those who threatened his family. The remaining guards, terrified by Wang Teng's display of power, fled the scene, spreading the word that Wang Teng was a formidable force capable of dealing death without hesitation. Meanwhile, Mr. Wang Shengguo, tied to a chair, pondered the reason behind his kidnapping. Confused, and without any apparent grievances, he wondered if this was an attempt to harm the entire Wang family. Suddenly, Wang Shengguo heard Wang Teng's voice questioning why he was sitting comfortably there while his mother awaited them for dinner. Wang Teng urged his father to stand up, but Wang Shengguo's legs were numb, and he was about to fall. Wang Teng caught him and joked about his legs being out of shape, even before reaching the age of 50. Wang Shengguo, frustrated, complained that he had been working for too long, resulting in his legs losing their stamina. As they walked back, Wang Shengguo questioned Wang Teng about the demands made and if he had agreed to any unreasonable requests. He warned Wang Teng not to sign any documents without careful consideration, fearing that it might be a trap. Wang Teng assured his father that he hadn't fallen for any tricks and had handled the situation intelligently. Wang Shengguo acknowledged that he trusted Wang Teng's judgment. Wang Teng, however, remembered the bloodshed and considered himself fortunate that he had cleaned the area before Wang Shengguo arrived. He didn't want his father to know about the violent confrontation that had taken place. As Taixuan bid them farewell, expressing relief that Wang Shengguo was safe, she advised Wang Teng to visit the old mansion and spend time with his other siblings. Wang Shengguo, puzzled by Taixuan's sudden change in behavior, questioned what had transpired to bring about such a shift in her attitude towards Wang Teng. On the other hand, Li Xiumei eagerly awaited the arrival of her son and husband. Upon their arrival, she tightly hugged Wang Shengguo, expressing relief and worry for him. Witnessing his parents' display of affection, Wang Teng felt awkward and suggested they be more aware of their surroundings, causing both his parents to playfully scold him. As they gathered around the dining table, Li Xiumei informed Wang Shengguo that Wang Teng had already become a martial warrior, surprising him. Wang Teng demonstrated his fire element abilities to his father, who questioned how he achieved this level so quickly, without regular martial arts practice. Wang Teng jokingly mentioned an old man who recognized his talent and imparted some incredible skills to him, making everyone laugh. When Wang Teng shared the story of what happened in the office a few days ago, Wang Shengguo became angry. He was upset with Bao Qingze for humiliating his wife and son, and for attempting to undermine the company in his absence. Wang Shengguo also expressed anger toward the employees who tried to deceive the company. However, Li Xiumei urged him to let go of the anger, stating that Wang Tang had already taught them a lesson they wouldn't forget. She saw the incident as a beneficial one, helping them identify loyal employees and remove the incompetent ones, bringing in fresh talent. Wang Shengguo eventually agreed, acknowledging the positive outcomes of the incident. Suddenly, Wang Shengguo inquired about the release of Wang Tang's martial arts examination scores. Upon confirmation that the scores were indeed out, they all proceeded towards the room to check them. Wang Tang, curious about his parents' anxious expressions, questioned why they seemed on edge. His parents sternly asked him to stop talking nonsense and focus on checking the scores. Upon reaching the room, they discovered that Wang Tang had achieved an A+ result. However, his father expressed doubt, questioning if it was genuinely his son's result or if there had been a mix-up. Annoyed, he mumbled about whether Wang Tang was even Wang Shengguo's biological son. Wang Tang defended himself, suggesting he could have done a little better, but his father remained unconvinced. Trying to explain, his father noted the significance of being the first in line when it comes to announcing results. Wang Tang, interrupting, received a call from the class president. On the other end of the line was Lin Chuhan, inquiring about Wang Tang's test results. She shared her joy at passing with an 80-point margin in the actual comeback assessment. Wang Tang, thrilled for her, asked about her grades in other subjects. Suspecting foul play due to her excellent performance, Wang Tang questioned whether she had cheated. However, Lin Chuhan revealed that she excelled in all subjects, providing detailed scores one by one. Wang Tang, surprised by her success, also shared his own achievements, stating that he secured full marks in the actual comeback assessment, plus an extra 20 marks. After exchanging information, they hung up. Soon after, Wang Tang realized that his parents were discussing the call with a smile. Expecting questions about Lin Chuhan being his girlfriend, Wang Tang explained with a bashful face that they were best friends with a strong platonic relationship. He assured them that he was only waiting for an SMS from Lin Chuhan. His face turned blush as his mother mentioned cooking delicious food the next time he called her. Suddenly, they noticed the arrival of the principal at their home, inquiring about the reason. They learned that Wang Tang had emerged as the top scorer in the martial arts exam from their school, prompting the visit to congratulate him. Wang Tang's mother was shocked to hear that her son was the top scorer, and the principal asked Wang Tang to share his college preferences without any hesitation. The principal also reminded him about the previously mentioned reward. Recalling the reward, the principal explained that he had heard of Wang Tang as an ice element martial warrior. He specifically asked someone to find 10 ice element yellow rank energy stones for him. The stones were handed over to Wang Tang for his cultivation. The package included an ice spiritual dance and familiarity with the black stone, also known as the dark eyes stone, which could be used for weapons, perfectly suiting his element. Wang Tang, examining the treasures, was amazed at their size. The principal added that the reward had been delivered, assuring that they would not disturb him further, and took their leave. Suddenly, his classmate arrived. Rushing towards him, they handed Wang Tang a booklet containing terms and conditions. Wang Tang invited them inside before discussing matters further. It was revealed that Wang Tang's friends had come to bring forms for joining a martial arts school. Wang Tang inquired about potential issues with enrolling in a martial arts school, and questioned whether joining an academy would pose any problems. His friends clarified that there would be no issues, as many strong warriors in their martial arts schools came from different academies and military academies. Wang Tang then asked which martial arts school he should enroll in. Wang Tang took some time to contemplate, and finally decided to enroll in Jixian Martial Hall. One of his friends was overjoyed by this decision. However, when the other colleagues read the contract Wang Tang had signed, they were shocked. Wang Tang had chosen an SSS class contract, leaving them astonished. They questioned if he was out of his mind, highlighting that those who had secured such a contract had already reached world rankings. The other two friends were saddened, as they couldn't afford to compete with Wang Tang. They could only sit and watch, feeling regretful for not being able to recruit a genius to their martial training school. Wang Tang's friend handed him a password band, explaining that after wearing it, he could connect to Jixian Martial School and purchase resources. The contract stated that $1 billion would be wired in installments. They also suggested that he could buy a house in the family area of the martial arts school, ensuring the safety of his business and family members. Wang Tang was confident that moving there would secure his parents' safety. Thinking about which academy to apply to, Wang Tang's friends suggested that the first few major academies were similar. But the military academy was also a good choice. Wang Tang agreed, noting that excelling in the military would be the fastest way to gain power. The friend emphasized that there were chances of leading a powerful army, especially in foreign lands. He informed Wang Teng about the ongoing recruitment for a major army force and the particular need for new candidates. Upon hearing about foreign lands, Wang Teng felt a bit furious. The classmate assured him that after applying to the academy, there would still be a month left before he joined. During this time, he would look for a squad of warriors in the martial arts school to assist Wang Teng in his training and cultivation. On the other hand, someone informed a martial warrior about the news that the Iron Fist clan's plan had been eradicated, and the surviving gang members were burned down. The martial warrior was shocked. The informant conveyed that he personally went to the site and witnessed everyone shot dead in one move. Even the high-ranking advanced martial warriors were not exempt, and the boss of Iron Fist clan was nowhere to be found. The scene only had a black mark, indicating that he had been killed by a fire element master warrior, which intrigued martial warrior. Frustrated with dealing with such matters, martial warrior instructed his assistant to head back to capital Xia. He decided to let someone else handle the aftermath of the situation. When the assistant prompted him to act with an angelic face, martial warrior reiterated that he was tired and wanted to go back to capital Xia. Meanwhile, as Wang Teng arrived at the academy, he was shocked to receive a special postal invitation and found a crowd gathered to see him. Excited, Wang Teng decided to pick up the challenge and engage in a duel with all of them to test his strength. Checking his perception points, he realized that exceeding 100 points would promote him to the spiritual realm. The understanding of skills in Wang Teng's mind seemed to strengthen, and spiritual attributes were about to break through to reach 200 points. Suddenly, Wang Teng heard a girl's voice requesting the guard to meet him. Initially resistant, the guard relented when he discovered that she was none other than Lin Chuhan's sister Chuxia. Wang Teng called her over, and she seemed happy. Apologizing for not allowing her earlier, the guard explained. Chuxia informed Wang Teng that she felt uncomfortable due to the thickened air and wanted to meet him. Wang Teng, realizing he could help by collecting Demon Lotus poison body boys from Chuxia, made her feel comfortable. Wang Teng then asked Chuxia if Lin Chuhan knew about her visit. She admitted that Lin Chuhan didn't, and Wang Teng suggested she talk to his assistant first to avoid worrying Lin Chuhan and her mother. As Chuxia made the call, Lin Chuhan was furious, screaming at her sister for causing worry and ordering her to come back quickly. Chuxia then confessed that she finally came out once and didn't want to go back so early. Lin Chuhan noticed her deteriorating physical condition and expressed concern. Wang Teng assured her that he would take care of Chuxia and asked her not to worry. He suggested Chuxia come to his house for dinner first, and then they could go to a fun place in the evening. While they were leaving, Chuxia asked Wang Teng about the item he was holding in his hand. Wang Teng informed her that it was a bronze broad, a super strong wine for his friend. In a room, they encountered an old man with gray hair sitting on a bed. Wang Teng surprised him with the wine, making the old man happy, and they started drinking. Chuxia inquired about the old man, asking if he was some kind of hidden master. Wang Teng confirmed, saying she could say that. The old man called them over and revealed that he had something for both of them. He passed a USB to Chuxia, saying it contained what she wanted, and handed a map, stating that if they wanted his precious properties, they should follow it. Wang Teng thought it was a prank, but Chuxia took it seriously. As they left, Chuxia observed the map, and Wang Teng ordered her to throw it away. However, Chuxia insisted it was a real map. Wang Teng, intrigued, asked her to show it. When he realized it was upside down, he playfully scolded her. Wang Teng treated Chuxia to ice cream and said he would discuss the map after researching it. She happily agreed. Later, they met Lin Chuhan, who scolded Chuxia for having the courage to run away from home. Chuxia clarified that she went out for a walk. Lin Chuhan questioned Wang Teng about taking Chuxia out so late and if something had happened to her. Wang Teng tried to reassure Lin Chuhan and suggested letting Chuxia go out more. As they left, Lin Chuhan caught Chuxia's cheeks, commenting on her newfound boldness. When they returned, Lin Chuhan asked Chuxia again if she had really gone. When Wang Teng reached home and checked his status, he discovered that his spiritual attribute had reached the dispersion realm. Excited about his new power, Wang Teng decided to test it by attempting to control water through his spiritual energy. To his amazement, he was able to pull water from a glass and throw it on the wall, damaging it. Wang Teng contemplated the potential of his newfound ability, wondering how powerful it would be if he used it to compress and release force. Determined to explore the limits of his power, he focused in the forest, successfully controlling a sword without touching it and making it float. Inspired, he decided to try flying on the sword and realized that he had encountered a truly great power. The next day, Wang Teng felt a headache as he had spent all his energy the previous night. Suddenly, a teacher intervened and informed Wang Teng that a few important recruiting teachers from several universities had personally come and wanted to talk with him. The teacher expressed surprise that a great martial art champion was in their class, and he took Wang Teng to the waiting area where all the teachers were. Wang Teng was delighted to see them, and suddenly, all the recruiting teachers from different universities jumped on him, expressing their desire to recruit him. They mentioned that the top 5 universities had come to hire him. One by one, they pitched Wang Teng, and 3-star warriors came forward, creating pressure for him. One recruiter even stamped on the table, emphasizing that the military academy was the place for Wang Teng to showcase his talent. They promised military ranks and entry into another world to fight with soldiers. The recruiter added that Wang Teng would be immediately awarded the rank of sergeant upon entering their military school, as per the decision of superiors. Another recruiter criticized the shameless behavior of the military academy recruiter, stating that using military rank allurements for recruiting students was inappropriate. However, the military academy recruiter defended their offer, and another recruiter mentioned that their academy had the additional advantage of having an outstanding alumnus in charge of the Red Tiger Legion in another world. Both recruiters were eager to acquire Wang Teng. Wang Teng questioned both recruiters about the high restrictions on student freedom at the military academy. They tried to explain that the rules were for weaker students, and as Wang Teng was strong, he could break those rules. Impressed, Wang Teng decided to apply to the military academy. Lin Chuhan was shocked, expecting him to apply to the #1 military school. However, Wang Teng thought the Huanghai military school was more suitable due to fewer restrictions on rules. Lin Chuhan expressed her desire to apply to Donghai University, but she was a bit worried. Her second choice was to apply to the Institute of Technology. Wang Teng heard about the Institute of Technology and asked Lin Chuhan if she would regret her decision later. Sadly, Lin Chuhan explained her family situation and said there was nothing to regret. Wang Teng reassured her, stating that they would continue to be in the same city and walk together. Lin Chuhan mentioned that graduation was approaching, and as it was getting late, she left. Wang Teng noticed that Lin Chuhan was sad, but she didn't say anything. Suddenly, Lin Chuhan asked Wang Teng if he would come to see her if she got admitted to Donghai University. With a smile, Wang Teng left, saying he would go when he had time. 3 days later, Lin Chuhan called Wang Teng to inform him that she had been admitted to Donghai University, majoring in martial arts. Wang Teng congratulated her and felt happy for her hard work. He also decided that he needed to push himself further and become even stronger. He went towards his governor, the person who recruited Wang Teng to the military academy. The governor introduced Wang Teng to the martial arts team, and all the team members were 3-star warriors. Bilal, the person tasked with taking care of Wang Teng, was introduced. Everyone was impressed by Wang Teng, and each team member introduced themselves one by one. After the introductions, Wang Teng prepared himself with the equipment, realizing that the time had come to go to another world. He was impressed by the expensive equipment they provided, and learned that martial arts truly burned money on such gear. Boarding the car, they headed to a hidden place. Wang Teng was shocked to see a device resembling a wormhole that would take them to a different world. The governor informed him to go through it, promising that he would gain more. Upon reaching the other world through the wormhole with the magic of time travel, they discussed the discomfort many experienced during this process. However, Wang Teng showed no reaction, discovering a space element through the bubbles surrounding him, a significant gain for him. It seemed the world was very friendly to him.
We continued our story where we had last left off. The Zhanhu martial arts team had arrived in the other world. Zhan told everyone that the dark fog forest ahead was their goal. He ordered everyone to organize their equipment and put on the infrared glasses. As they went through the forest, everything seemed calm, but all of a sudden, Zhan told everyone to stop because he found some fresh windwolf poop. He warned them to be careful because hurricane wolves hunt in groups, which could be troublesome. Yan thought there were at least 7 or 8 hurricane wolves around. Fei said that since it was Wang Teng's first time in another world, they shouldn't take risks. Suddenly, a venomous snake attacked Jin Ming, but she easily killed it. Zhan reminded everyone to be careful. He then threw his hammer toward Jin Ming. She dodged it, and the hammer hit a hurricane wolf. Howling sounds erupted from the forest, revealing a pack of hurricane wolves. Zhan ordered everyone to prepare for battle. The next day dawned, and Zhan instructed Wang Teng to deal with the advanced 1-star pig drinking by the pond. He accepted the challenge and approached the pig. It charged at him, and while this was happening, the team decided to bet 10 originum on how fast he would beat the ground boar. He got enraged that they were betting on him. He attacked the boar, but its thick skin proved too much. However, noticing its limited attack pattern, he exploited its weak spot and swiftly defeated it. Zhan was thrilled at winning the bet, while the others were stunned. Yan, disturbed by Wang Teng's method, questioned his avoidance of direct force. He explained that, as a 1-star soldier with limited power, he preferred to save the creature if possible. Yan, disgusted by his trick, told him that he should refrain from doing such tactics in front of them in the future. Jean ordered Fei to collect the pig's tusks and scales, but Fei discovered the pig had seemingly touched a stat core, suggesting Wang Tang's misfortune with a plan to reach the Valley of the Wind. Jean and the team arrived only to find signs of another's presence. Fei worried a fierce battle might ensue if they encountered the other party. Jean, with words of encouragement, urged them forward. He warned everyone to prepare for battle, as their last sighting of the unicorn had been nearby. As they proceeded, a mysterious creature observed them from afar. Suddenly, an explosion erupted, startling Wang Tang. An energy beam was shot toward Yan. Wang Tang jumped in front of Yan and destroyed the energy beam, but another energy beam was fired toward him. He survived the blast. Yan came to check up on him. She thanked him for saving her. The creature that had been shooting energy beams toward them was the unicorn. Wang Tang was surprised that the unicorn looked like a rabbit. Jin Yue saw the blood on the left side of the unicorn and told everyone that it had been injured. Jean thought that this was the doing of the previous group. The unicorn charged an energy blast to kill them, but before it could, everyone attacked it, and Jean landed the final blow, ending the fight. Wang Tang went to check on Jean. Jean told him that he was fine and asked him how the others were doing. The others turned out to be okay. He told the group to go and see if the unicorn was dead. Everyone went to check on the unicorn. The unicorn seemed to be hung up. Jean told Fei to open the unicorn and see if there were any star bones inside it. Fei accepted and butchered the unicorn. He found the star core, which turned out to be a Samsung star core. Fei was shocked to find star bones. All of a sudden, the team was attacked by someone from afar. Everyone was gravely injured except for Wang Tang. The attacker turned out to be a man with a rocket launcher. He was surprised to find that Wang Tang survived his attack. The man ordered Wang Tang to tell him what they got from the unicorn, or he would kill him. Wang Tang was enraged by what had just happened. The man thought that Wang Tang was some low martial artist and didn't take him seriously. Wang Tang attacked the man. The man was shocked to see that Wang Tang had spirituality. He tried to stop the attack, but Wang Tang scattered it, defeating the man in a few seconds. He then gathered all his teammates. Everyone was seriously injured and unconscious. Fei suffered the most injuries because his legs were blown away. Wang Tang was sad by what had just happened, but was also happy because at least the space ring and resources he gained were useful. He got mid-level wind talent and skills from the man he just faced. John then woke up. Wang Tang asked him how he was feeling. John worried more about the others and asked him how the others were doing. Wang Tang replied that the others were still in a coma. John asked him how he managed to save them. Wang Tang anxiously told him that the man took him lightly when he thought they were killed and was killed by his sneak attack. They decided to go back when everyone woke up. When they went back, Fei met his family and embraced his daughter. His daughter was happy to see him and wanted him to spend more time with her in the future. Wang Tang then arrived at a shop. He wondered if he was at the wrong place. He called to see if anyone was there because he made an appointment to build weapons a few days prior. The man inside told him to come in directly because he was working on iron. The man apologized to Wang Tang for making him wait. He introduced himself and told Wang Tang that his name was Lu Jishen. Jishen told Wang Tang that he had already looked through the blueprint of the item he wanted to be forged and asked him if he had the materials with him. Wang Tang said yes and showed him the ring. When he saw the ring, he wondered what Wang Tang's background was. He said that because of the good materials, he could at least forge a 6-star level meteor all. Wang Tang wondered if what he was saying was true. He reassured him and asked him if he could bring over the subsidiary materials or if he needed his help. Wang Tang asked him if the materials he had were usable. Jishen was shocked to see a Xuanwu Yaojin ball. Wang Tang asked him if he knew what it was. He said that it was some kind of rare ore and that it was a rare weapon-forging material for powerful warriors. Wang Tang held the orb and thought that it was not that heavy, but then the orb became extremely heavy, so heavy that not even Wang Tang was able to hold it. Jishen told Wang Tang that the more force the holder has, the heavier the orb becomes. He asked Wang Tang if he was interested in selling the Xuanwu Yaojin ball. Wang Tang declined. He told Jishen that he wanted the orb to be turned into a weapon. Jishen asked him what kind of weapon he wanted, and to his surprise, Wang Tang told him that he wanted it turned into a brick. Jishen refused at first, but later agreed. Wang Tang then left. He then arrived at an auction. Chairman Li and his son also arrived there. The chairman's son was enraged upon seeing Wang Tang. Chairman Li wondered how Wang Tang had obtained a letter of invitation. Mr. Z then came and asked him if he also came to participate in the auction. He said that he just brought his son to look around and asked Mr. Z if he had a fancy item in mind to bid on. He confirmed and told him that his son should take the college entrance examination based on his age and participate in the martial arts exam. Chairman Li said that his son was already a high-level martial artist, but he was forced to give up the test by a student's humble means, so he could only repeat the test the next year. Mr. C wondered what kind of student was so vicious to kick out his son from the assessment. He told him that it was Wang Tang, and seeing that he didn't even say hello when he saw him, he thought that he was arrogant. Mr. C agreed with him, and they all went to the auction. Wang Teng was eating cookies and thinking about why John and the others hadn't arrived even though the auction was about to start. Wang Teng was then approached by Xu Hui. He asked her why she was there. Hui was mad because Wang Teng didn't even reply to her text messages. Wang Teng tried to explain himself, but Hui knew that he was lying. The two were then approached by Hui's friends. Jilong saw his uncle, who was thrilled to see him, and asked him if the people he was with were his classmates. He confirmed, but upon addressing Wang Teng, he said that he was the champion of the Donghai martial arts exam, so he couldn't see normal students like them. He shouted at Wang Teng because Wang Teng had not greeted Mr. C, even though he was a 3-star level martial warrior. Mr. C was unfazed and asked Wang Teng if he was the reason Li Rongcheng had to drop out. Jilong was disgusted by Wang Teng's actions, but Hui defended him. Jilong said that knowing someone by their face didn't mean that you knew their heart. He asked if Li Rongcheng had told them that. Mr. C said that it didn't matter and how he could be so vicious at such a young age. Wang Teng said that they had nothing to do with this because he didn't even know them. Jilong questioned Wang Teng if he knew how to respect his elders and defended his uncle. Wang Teng asked them if they were questioning the authority of the martial arts exam, to which Jilong replied that they were. Hui tried to stop C and Jilong, but Jilong still didn't care. He was stopped by his uncle, who said that Hui was Wang Teng's friend, so she was the same and that he should stay away from them. While Mr. C was threatening Wang Teng, Zhan appeared and confronted him, saying that Wang Teng was a part of his squad. Yan then appeared and asked Wang Teng if Mr. C was troubling him. She told them that it was Li Rongcheng who was at fault. After hearing that, Mr. C became mad at Li Rongcheng because he and his father had lied to him. He admitted that that day's matter was his fault and asked what they would like him to do. John told him to apologize to Wang Teng and leave some compensation too. He asked what would happen if he didn't comply with their demands. John then threatened him, and Mr. Z gave him 30 origin stones as compensation. Wang Teng insulted him for giving him such a small amount, and John told him to give Wang Teng 50 more origin stones. Mr. Z didn't comply and left in a fit of rage. The team then went to their room. Wang Teng said bye to Hui and left. Hui became envious of Wang Teng's friends and thought of how much Wang Teng had changed. The auction started and the team watched it from their private room. Then it was time for the auction of the 3-star Windstar Beast Starbone of the Unicorn's Leg. The bidders were excited. The starting price of the Starbone was 500 million. Then the bidding started, and the price went up. Wang Teng was shocked at how much the rich were willing to spend. John and the team were excited because they were about to become rich. The price quickly crossed 1 billion, and the bone was given to the VIPs in room 8 after they bid 2 billion. The auctioneer was about to announce the last item, but then everyone started panicking upon learning the evil followers of the Zhenli religion were present there. Everyone rushed out of the building. John ordered his team to get ready to fight. He attacked the evil followers of the Zhenli religion with his hammer. Yan told Wang Teng to cover her, and she attacked the enemies. A follower attacked Wang Teng, but was then attacked by Yan. The follower then went after Yan, but was stopped by Wang Teng, who wanted to fight him. Wang Teng landed a powerful blow to the follower, before the poison from the attack kicked in. Wang Teng then went to help John. From his battle, Wang Teng had gained intermediate water talent and mysterious swordsmanship. He felt stronger, and decided to pick up the attributes on the ground first, and then go to John and the others. John thought everything was solved and that they should leave. Then a blast happened, and John asked what happened. Lord Wu, the 6-star master, had fallen. Jen told everyone to learn because they were no match for them. Hui was being attacked by the followers but was saved by Wang Teng. Wang Teng told her to find her seniors, but Hui didn't want to leave him. Wang Teng told her that her stay would also be a drag, so she should go. A follower attacked Wang Teng from behind, but he was saved by Yan. Wang Teng then told Hui to go as he would be going with his teammates. She agreed and told him to take care. The auction house had suffered a big loss, but fortunately for the team, the money from the Starbone had already been transferred. Zhan told Wang Teng to go home. Wang Teng agreed, but because the attribute bubbles of the soldier-level powerhouse were too rare, he went back for them. Wang Teng disguised himself so he wouldn't be recognized. Wang Teng spotted 2 specious-looking people. They were the evil followers, and one of them mistook Wang Teng as their member. The member said that because he had just started being a follower, he still didn't know many rules. Wang Teng told him to split up because they would attract attention if they were together. He agreed, and while leaving he accidentally told Wang Teng the place and time of the gathering of the evil followers. Wang Teng decided not to leave and went inside to find Bubbles. He found a huge bubble and got extremely happy because with advanced swordsmanship talent, all kinds of swordsmanship and combat skills could be mastered quickly. He wondered how big of a loss it would have been if he had not come here. He decided to tell the city about the followers. 3 guards found the note with the location and time of the evil follower meeting, and they reported it. Wang Tang went to the forger to collect his items. The forger gave him his items, and Wang Tang was satisfied with the result. Wang Tang decided to go to the follower meeting secretly to try out his new weapons. Two men were in front of the evil followers' gathering place. They thought that whoever wrote the note must have been a really good person. Wang Tang then threw an attack at the warehouse, because of which two followers came out to look for enemies. The two men, seeing the situation, decided to go on the offensive. A fight erupted. Three men of the evil followers thought that no one was chasing them and stopped. Unbeknownst to them, Wang Tang was right over their head. Wang Tang got ready to attack. In another scene, men searched the area. They found a few evil followers who had been beaten pretty badly. One of the men thought that this was the work of a powerful person hiding in the dark who had been helping them. Wang Tang sneezed and wondered who was talking about him, as it was a myth that if you sneezed, someone was talking about you. Wang Tang then went to rent a heavy armored car. The dealer was worried because it was dangerous to go on missions alone. Wang Tang thanked him for his concern and said that he had already thought about it. He stopped in the forest and sensed that someone was following him, so he hid. It turned out that three men were following him. Because they lost him, they decided to find him separately. While the boss was sitting wondering where the boy had gone, Wang Tang appeared behind him and quickly knocked him out. Wang Tang decided to kill the remaining two with the same method. When the remaining two arrived, they were shocked to see what had happened to their boss. Just as they were processing this information, one of the men was attacked, and then the second one. Both of them ended up being killed. The meteor cone fused with the shadow star bone, making Wang Tang turn into a slayer of the night. All of Wang Tang's combat skills had been cultivated to perfection, and the original force methods were also close to perfection. He had reached the 3-star full attribute so quickly, and now he was afraid of encountering a 4-star warrior. Wang Tang spotted a team of other world warriors who were running from something. The thing caught one of the men. Wang Tang wondered what the thing was because he couldn't even see it clearly. He was shocked to realize that it was a black ray of light of the origin force. The team that had been chased was in a panic. They knew they wouldn't be able to run from it, so they decided to fight to the death since it was the only way they survived. Listening to them, Wang Tang felt scared. He wondered if it could be a ghost depending on the situation, but as it was a zombie, that monster would be the best. Suddenly, Wang Tang sensed someone was behind him. It was the zombie, and it attacked Wang Tang, causing him to fall down. One of the team members, whose name was Luo Ya, asked Wang Tang who he was, but he replied that it didn't matter, and that they should deal with the black thing first. One of the members didn't trust Wang Tang as he had been spying on them, but they decided to work together as there was no other option. A zombie attacked them from above. Wang Tang saw him and attacked him. The other team decided that they would fight the zombies together. Wang Tang barely saved himself from the zombie's claws. The zombie was proving to be too much for Wang Tang. One of the team members from the other team was in pretty bad condition and was asking for help. One of them decided to help him but was stopped because he sensed that something was wrong. Luo Ya decided to check on her teammate. She asked him if he was okay, but as soon as she got close, he attacked. Luo Ya saved herself, but another zombie attacked her. She easily stopped the second zombie and sent him flying. Another zombie surprised her and injured her. Wang Tang attacked the zombie and told his teammate to save her. Luo Ya realized that her teammate had been assimilated by the creature. She further stated that stabbing the creature's heart didn't work, and to stop it, the head had to be smashed. Wang Tang stated that because their teammate was no longer in his senses, he had to be killed. One of their teammates stepped up to finish the job. Wang Tang saw some black and sunny attribute bubbles. He knew that if he picked them up, he would become a dark species, but he still did it. He got dark talent and the dark force, but couldn't seem to understand them because they were different from all previous forces. While he was doing this, a zombie tried to sneak up on him, but he sent that zombie flying with a single punch. One of the other team members smashed the head of a zombie with a bat. Wang Tang asked Luo Ya if she knew what the dark species was, but she refrained from telling him at first. Then she told him that they didn't know very much about the dark species, but they might know some inside stories after returning to the city and reporting to the military. Wang Tang asked if she was talking about their army on the mainland of Xinwu or his military on Earth. She said that both had to be notified because a decree was promulgated more than 20 years ago that once a dark species appeared, the military departments of both parties must be notified immediately. Wang Tang came to the conclusion that the military hated to pay attention to dark species. Luo Ya stated that the dark species existed before, but in recent years, dark species had appeared more and more frequently. She said that if they didn't report to the military, they would come to them. Wang Tang then went to the North Yuncheng District, Earthstar Military Department. He was stopped by security who asked for his identity. After his identity was verified, a soldier asked him what had happened. He told him he had encountered the dark species. The soldier was shocked and told Wang Tang to follow him. Wang Tang was taken to the manager's room. The manager asked him if what he was saying was true. Wang Teng confirmed that he had met the dark species in the dark mist forest with another team of alien warriors. He had also brought a piece of flesh from the dark species as proof. The manager froze and asked if his name was Wang Teng because he had heard from Lao Fu that there was a genius in the East China Sea who won the martial arts examination this year. Wang Teng was surprised that he knew Lao Fu and asked if he was from Donghai also. The manager confirmed and said that Lao Fu was very optimistic about him. Wang Teng then asked him what exactly the dark species were. The manager asked him if he knew about the expansion of the martial arts examination this year and said it was because they were dealing with the dark species. They had sacrificed a lot of warriors for this, so they increased their recruitment. Wang Teng asked why they were going through such efforts, even though it was a matter of a foreign country. The manager told him that the reason for this was because Earth and the other planets were not safe and would suffer from it sooner or later if necessary measures were not taken. The manager reassured Wang Teng that he didn't need to worry because martial arts students didn't have to go to the front line for actual combat. Wang Teng asked what the front line was like, and the manager told him he would see it when he went to college. He also said that what he met at that time was only the lowest level of the dark species, and that the higher level dark species were truly terrifying existences. Wang Teng asked where the dark species came from, and the manager replied that they came from the abyss. A few days later, Wang Teng was in the city, happy because he had made a fortune by selling the materials of the star beasts that were hunted in the foreign country. He wanted to go home to see his parents. All of a sudden, he heard screams and rushed to check on his parents. He saw his aunt talking with some ladies about the disappearance of the Wang Fujui family because he had killed someone before, and his sons became warriors and came back to take revenge. He asked his aunt what had happened. His aunt was happy to see him and told him that she had seen it herself. Wang Teng thought something had happened to his house. His aunt told him to go home and have a look because his house was close to their house. Wang Teng then left. There, the man who had killed the Wang family was holding a little girl and was about to kill her. Wang Teng's mom stepped in to stop him. She pleaded with him to spare the child. She tried to comfort the crying child. The man threatened her. She told him that no matter how great his hatred was, it should not involve a child. The man, not wanting to do so, told her what had happened to his parents. He told her to get out of his way. But Wang Teng's mom, not wanting to let a child die, refused. The man threatened her that he would kill her. He again told her to step aside, but she refused, so he attacked her. But Wang Teng, who was seeing this, came to his mother's aid and cut off the man's arm. Wang Teng warned the man of ever attacking his mother again. Wang Teng told him to come to him if he wanted revenge. The man, who stated his name was Yan Qing, promised that he would take revenge on him and left. Wang Teng's mother got worried because of the possibility he actually came to take revenge. But Wang Teng reassured her that he could deal with him. The police then came to investigate the scene. Wang Teng spotted Captain Chai and greeted him. They discussed the situation. Wang Teng's mother asked Captain Chai if she could let the girl stay with her because she had lost her parents. Captain Chai agreed. Wang Teng asked his mother what she planned on doing. His mother didn't want to give Dodu to her relatives because they were not good people. Wang Teng suggested they keep Dodu as he could protect her. He also told his mom that he would be moving to the Wujie family area, so they would go to see the house when his dad came back. Wang Teng's mom decided to listen to him. When they went to see the house, his father was happy with his son's financial power. Dodu was uncomfortable going into the house because she wanted to go home to her parents. Wang Teng's mom tried to comfort her by telling her that she would have to stay with her for a month because her parents had gone far away. She then hugged her and told her that her parents loved her the most. He asked her husband about adopting Dodu because of her unreliable relatives. Her husband thought it was a great idea and told her to let Dodu live there first, and then they would decide. 3 days later, Wang Teng's grandfather welcomed everyone for attending his grandson's promotion party. They were surprised to see that a man had arrived at the party with a huge gift. The man's name was Zhu Wu. He displayed a hologram projection of Ren Jianping. Wang Zhaoxiong was surprised to see this and questioned whether he was dead, but Ren Jianping had actually survived. Ren Jianping stated that his family was stronger than the Wang family, and that was the reason he had come back for revenge. He told him that he had kidnapped his son last time, and that he would take his royal family to be buried with him before he died. He ordered Wu to give them the gift. The guards tried to stop him, but he defeated them all with ease. He threw the bell at Wang Teng's grandfather. Wang Teng jumped in to save him. He kicked the bell and then punched it toward Wu. Wu was surprised because his data said Wang Teng was a one-star warrior. Wu managed to catch the bell. Wang Teng jumped on top of the bell. Wu thought Wang Teng was an idiot for thinking he could face him because he was a soldier warrior with great strength. Wang Teng tapped the bell with his foot, and suddenly the bell became heavier. Wu was shocked by Wang Teng's strength, and in the end he was crushed by Wang Teng. After all this was over, Wang Teng's uncle told his father that he had a good son. He commended his parents on his son's promising potential. Wang Teng's grandfather was also impressed and told his son to take care of Wang Teng because, with the help of Wang Teng, it might be possible for the Wang family to prosper and reach unprecedented heights. He then became serious and told them that the most important thing for them was Ren Jianping's threat. Wang Teng told his grandfather not to worry as he could deal with the problem. Wang Teng's grandfather was delighted to hear this. Wang Teng asked his grandfather what was going on between him and Ren Jianping. He told him that decades ago he and Ren Jianping used to be friends in the same village. They both came out together to make a difference. The problem started when the two fell in love with the same girl, but unfortunately for Ren Jianping, she chose him, so Ren Jianping turned against him and developed hatred towards him. Later, Ren Jianping wanted to kill him, but accidentally leaked the news ahead of time. So he decided to strike first. He didn't expect him to die as a result. Wang Teng was amazed by the story and felt more admiration towards his grandfather. We then saw that Wu was tied in another room. It turned out he was still alive. Wang Teng told him that if he answered his questions, he would let him go. He asked him if he would really let him go. Wang Teng, with a menacing look in his eye, told him that he didn't have a choice. Wu reluctantly agreed. Wang Teng then asked him about Ren Jianping's background, and he told him that he was just an ordinary person, but his grandson Ren Qingchang was a martial arts genius. Everyone was shocked to hear this. He then said that Thunder Martial Arts directly gave Ren Qingchang an SS-level contract, and he was accepted by the chief gymnast as the second son of Lai Chuan. Now that he was a 6-star soldier-level warrior, the Ren family had also ascended to heaven because of that. Everyone panicked when they heard this. Wang Teng's grandfather realized the reason Ren Qingchang said that there was a unicorn in their family. He then asked Wang Teng if he was sure. He replied that he may have signed an SS-level contract, but he had signed an SSS-level contract. His reply surprised everyone. He told his grandfather that if he got enough time, he would not be weaker than him. His grandfather then told him that it was good if he had the heart to sell, but before the end of his strength, he should fight hard first and shouldn't confront Ren Qingchang. He agreed. His grandfather asked what he planned on doing with Wu. He let him go as he promised, but he didn't spare his life. Wu had boarded a plane and was thinking about what he was going to do when he returned to Xiadu, when all of a sudden he was killed by Wang Teng using spiritual powers to control the silver needle to attach to him and then piercing his heart. He then went home because he had to pack his things to get ready for college. The next day he arrived at college. There, a staff member briefed everyone about the college. The college's martial arts professional dormitory was divided into 4 areas, A, B, C, and D. District D was generally occupied by freshmen. It had a total room count of 300. The rooms were all quadruple rooms, which could accommodate up to 1,200 people. Those who had reached the first Star Trooper level could stay in Area C. The rooms in Area C were single rooms and could accommodate up to 300 people. 2-star and 3-star fighters could stay in District B with better facilities than the previous rooms. There were 200 rooms in total in District B. Last, but certainly not least, District A had the best accommodation environment where the top 100 warriors in the school lived. After the briefing, the staff member started to help everyone find their dormitory. Wang Teng asked her for help, and she told him that he was in room 1 at District C. Everyone there was shocked to hear this, as there had never been a freshman who had lived in room 1 at District C. The staff member told Wang Teng that the strongest member of the group lived in room 1. And because he was a freshman who had reached that position right after entering school, he would most likely become a target of public criticism, so he should be careful. He wasn't fazed by that as he was a 3-star warrior, and told her that they should just have a competition to let everyone understand that he was qualified to live in room 1. Because of his bold statement, everyone thought that he was arrogant. The next day, everyone gathered on the football field. Then a heavy voice shouted, "Silence!" and everyone was quiet. The voice was of the chief dean of the Martial Arts Academy. He introduced himself as Peng Yuan Shan. He was disappointed by the students because a lot of them were late. He said that the bounden duty of a soldier was to obey orders, and when they entered the academy, they must obey the rules. He ordered the students who were late to run 20 laps around the playground. He then continued his speech, emphasizing that they were there to enjoy the privileges of the military academy, not to seek a comfortable life. He asserted that they were the warriors of the future and bore a heavy responsibility on their shoulders. He predicted that one day they would realize the world's need for warriors, placing them at the forefront with their families supporting them from behind. He likened their role not to that of a strong man carrying the weight of the sun and moon, but to that of a burden bearer carrying the weight of all living beings. At the end, he announced that that year, one of them had been honored as a freshman. He mentioned that the Donghai Wukao champion had successfully passed the martial arts examination with the strength of a warrior, joined the school, and was awarded the rank of soldier level. There was curiosity among the crowd about how a freshman without any military achievements could attain such a title. He assured them, stating that he understood their dissatisfaction, but emphasized that Wang Tang was indeed very special, and if they didn't believe him, he could give everyone a meeting with Wang Tang and whoever defeated him could take his rank. Upon hearing this, Wang Tang became extremely nervous because he knew if he were given a title in front of everyone, he would be bullied by his seniors. The dean then called him to the rostrum to personally give him the title. When he arrived at the rostrum, the dean asked him if he was feeling confused, but he told him that he was fine when deep inside he was cursing him because of the situation he had been put in. The dean told Wang Tang that it had been a long time since the last freshman was awarded a title. He was glad to have another student like that. As his journey had just begun, he hoped Wang Tang could add more honors to his body when he graduated. He hoped to see the day he could see him put on the throne. All of the students wondered what made Wang Tang so special that the dean had placed such high hopes on him. Wang Tang had doubts. The dean told him that if he had any questions, he could ask him. He said that if others had the ability to challenge him, as long as they were at the same level as him, could he also challenge others and seize their military ranks? The dean, acknowledging his brilliant move, said that the military ranks were obtained through military merit, so he couldn't just take it from someone. Wang Tang questioned how that was fair for him, as he would lose his rank if he lost, but not be able to gain anything in return if he won. The dean, with no other choice, asked what he wanted. He said that if he wanted to challenge him in return, he wanted an equivalent reward like credits. The dean was intrigued by Wang Tang's ability to negotiate, because of which he agreed but limited the credits he would be getting to 100, and after that he excused everyone. The next day, Wang Tang was walking when he was approached by a student who wanted him to come with him to the playground to prepare for the sorting ceremony. He asked why he was calling him and replied that he was a celebrity. Even his roommates admired him. The student then asked him if he had read the introduction of the 5 colleges. He hadn't. The first college was the War College, which focused on cultivating students' combat ability, which would be the main combat force on the battlefield in the future and had the highest mortality rate, so it was necessary to be prepared for death. The second college was the Forging College, which taught forging technologies to create weapons suitable for warriors. The third college was the Alchemy College, which cultivated talented alchemists and provided warriors with elixirs for cultivation and healing. The fourth college was the Rune College, which provided an all-encompassing, in-depth, profound study of runes. The fifth college was the Commander College, responsible for training tactical command personnel. Wang Tang wanted to join all of them to get attributes. The day of selecting a college finally came. The dean was pleased that everyone was there on time. Then the deans of the 5 colleges introduced themselves and told everyone what benefits they would be getting if they joined their respective colleges. The first dean to do so was the dean of the War College, Tong Hu, who told everyone that if they joined his college, they would become the strongest. The second was the dean of the Commander College, Su Jing, who mocked Hu because he thought the mind was just as important as raw strength and that the person who knew how to use his brain was the strong one in reality. Then the dean of the Forging College came and introduced himself as Amu Chang Song and told everyone that forging was an art of stone and required talent. He welcomed students to enroll in his college. After that, Kui Hung, the dean of Alchemy College, introduced himself and told everyone about the benefits of joining his college. He and Chang Song didn't seem to get along. At last, the dean of the Rune College, Situ Juin, introduced herself and told everyone if they were interested in runes, they should join her college. Wang Tang was confused about which college to join. He went to the stand of the War College, which made Hu happy. But to the surprise of everyone, he went to the stands of all 5 colleges, trying to join all 5. He was stopped by the dean, who told him that he couldn't join all 5 colleges because it would be biting off more than he could chew. He advised him to think carefully about which college to join. He told him that he wanted to learn more than just one course. The dean, seeing his will to gain knowledge, calmed down and advised him to major in the War College. He allowed him to attend other classes on the condition that it didn't affect his martial arts training. He decided to listen to the dean. A few days later, Wang Tang was walking minding his own business when he was approached by a 1-star warrior sophomore named Wei Hua. He wanted to test Wang Tang's strength. Wang Tang told him that if he wanted to challenge him, he better have 100 credits. Hua said that he just wanted to spar with him. But Wang Tang said that if he didn't have credits, he should not waste his time. Hua reluctantly agreed and told him to meet at noon in the playground ring. He was frustrated because of his inability to fool Wang Tang. Wang Tang knew he was trying to fool him. He decided that the next day he would pretend to barely win so that more people would come to challenge him. The next day, both showed up to the playground ring. A huge crowd was there to witness the fight. Hua told Wang Tang that he was late. He told him that freshmen were compelled to attend military training and that if he had any problem, he could talk to his instructor. He didn't believe him and told him to start the match now. Two military-ranked individuals named Yang Lin and Chen Su of the martial arts club asked the two if they could be the referees. The two agreed to their offer. Hua chose a short sword as his weapon, and Wang Tang, to the surprise of everyone, chose a brick. Some people thought that he was just showing off. Wang Tang choosing a brick as his weapon enraged Hua, and he decided to attack him. He effortlessly evaded his attack. Every attack that Hua threw on him, he easily evaded. He then charged with a powerful attack, which caused an explosion. He was in disbelief because Wang Tang wasn't even scratched by his attack. He threw the brick, which hit his head, instantly knocking him to the ground. Half the crowd was in disbelief by what had just happened, and half thought he was shameless for defeating his opponent in such a way. He asked Lin if she wasn't going to give him the 100 credits. She told him that he didn't need to worry because no one would dare to refuse the supervision of their martial arts club, but she also thought the way he took down his opponent was too shameless. He said that he would be careful next time. After that, he was approached by a sophomore named Zhou Kun, who challenged him to a match after his military training that night. He agreed as long as he had credits. That night, they both got to the playground and got ready to fight. Kun took a boxing stance. Wang Tang told him to come at him. He charged towards him. Wang Tang decided to fight him with his fists. He easily stopped his punch. The crowd was amazed by Wang Tang's fighting abilities. Kun slipped through his punch and went for an uppercut, but Wang Tang was able to dodge it. After fighting him a little bit more, Zhou realized that he must have held back when he was fighting Hua because he was too strong. Wang Tang went for an uppercut, and Zhou barely missed it. The two continued to exchange fists, and Zhou realized that he was too difficult to deal with. He decided to finish him when he got tired, but he appeared behind him and knocked him out in the same shameful way he knocked Hua out. Lin asked why he used the same move when he clearly said he wouldn't do it again. He told her that he just knocked him out when in actuality he did that, because a lot of attribute bubbles fell off when he hit his head. Su didn't expect his boxing skills to be so powerful. He said that he just got lucky. Lin and Su both knew he was lying. Lin then asked him if he was interested in joining their club. He thought that the martial arts club had just overseen matches. Lin told him that the martial arts club was indeed responsible for maintaining the order of martial arts, but the academy was full of masters. Su told him that the club existed to maintain and check the balance in the academy, and if he joined the club, he could get 5 credits every month. After hearing this, he decided to join. After his victories and him joining the martial arts club, his classmates asked him for a treat, but he just ran away. A few days later, Wang Tang was approached by a classmate who told him that another person wanted to challenge him. He asked why anyone would challenge him considering he beat up a dozen seniors a few days prior. His classmate told him that it was different this time because the one to challenge him was the senior Zhuota who used to live in room C-No. One but was pushed away by him and that made him angry. Wang Tang thought he would be the first to trouble him, but wondered why he was challenging him now after he had seen what he could do. His classmate told him that he heard that he was very powerful. He was surprised that Wang Tang was still relaxed. Because of the attributes gained from his previous fights, he was about to rise to the 4-star soldier level, so he had no reason to be afraid of Zhao Tai. Zhao Tai, who was researching Wang Tang, was asked by his friend if he was capable of fighting Wang Tang, because if he lost, their sophomores would be completely disgraced. Zhao Tai was sure of his abilities. In the martial arts club, a meeting was being held. The reason for the meeting was to look at the list of freshmen handed in by Chen Su and Yan Lin. The list had freshmen with great potential. Their martial arts club was looking for new recruits. The team had to consider many aspects and they couldn't be hasty. One member pointed out that the strength of the first freshman was really mysterious. Another member had also heard about him. Recently, a rumor had been floating around that he would fight Zhuo Tai. In another room, Hu and Jing were talking about Zhuo Tai and Wang Tang. Hu said that Zhuo Tai was the head student of his sophomore war college, and the sense of crisis that Wang Tang brought to him was quite strong. Hu, because of Wang Tang's power, thought that he was hiding something. The next day, a huge crowd had gathered to see the fight between Zhuo Tai and Wang Tang. Mr. Chen was also present there. Wang Tang, as always, arrived after his opponent. Wang Tang was told by a teacher that that day's fighting would be different from his previous fights, because it would be a fight of life or death. He was asked if he still wanted to fight. He didn't look fazed by the conditions. Mr. Chen said that the match was decided by Wang Tang, and that if he admitted defeat and fought timidly, his student would naturally not be too hard on him. A teacher asked him if he was going to intervene in the duties of their martial arts club, and after getting him to think about the potential consequences, he reconsidered what he had said. Zhuo Tai, who was getting more fired up by the second, told Wang Tang that if he didn't want to fight him, he should just go back and not waste his time. Wang Tang agreed to fight him. Lin told Wang Teng to reconsider because of the obvious danger. He thanked her for her concern and told her that he had thought it through. He said to Zhuo Tai that there was no enmity between them, but it was the first time he had heard that one could live and die after reading the challenge book. The precious seniors had challenged him, and he could see that they had no intention of killing him. Instead, they were just after his rank. That day made him understand that he was naive. Zhuo Tai responded that in the battle of martial arts, it was not only about victory or defeat, but also about the decision of life and death. Zhuo Tai drew his sword, and Wang Teng was just standing there. He had no weapons in his hands. The fight then began, and Zhuo Tai charged toward Wang Teng. He was easily able to hit him. The audience was shocked, but Zhuo Tai knew something was wrong. He figured out that the thing he hit was an afterimage. He began to look for him, and before he knew it, he was attacked from behind and sent flying back. He managed to save himself. The crowd was amazed by Wang Teng's skills. Zhuo Tai was starting to get worried. He never thought that Wang Teng could be so incredibly strong, but he wasn't ready to give up. He charged towards him, but every attack he threw was easily evaded by him. Zhuo Tai never imagined that Wang Teng would be so strong. He was enraged by what was happening, and he decided to show Wang Teng his true strength. He made a breakthrough in the middle of the fight and went from a 1-star to a 2-star warrior. Wang Teng had suspected that something like that might happen. He wasn't even the slightest bit worried. He just casually made a breakthrough, just like Zhuo Tai. Zhuo Tai started to attack him with everything he had, one punch after the other. But even after all that, he still didn't manage to land a single hit. Zhuo Tai told him the reason he was fighting him was to ensure his own development and that he had no other choice. He was about to attack, but then Wang Teng threw his break, which hit his head instantly, knocking him down. Wang Teng, with a terrifying gaze, told him that he would never let him succeed. He then mocked his swordsmanship and decided to show him what real swordsmanship looked like. Mr. Chen was in a stage of panic because of what was about to happen. Wang Teng swung his sword. Everyone was shocked by his power. Mr. Chen thought what Wang Teng was doing was cruel. He was about to interfere but was stopped by the other teacher. In a surprising turn of events, Zhuo Tai stood up, his aura even stronger than before. Zhuo Tai had comprehended his sword power. Zhuang He acknowledged that Zhuo Tai was worthy of being the #1 sophomore year student. Su thought that because Zhuo Tai had comprehended his sword power, he would be in trouble. Wang Teng acknowledged his opponent's power. Zhuo Tai attacked Wang Teng with the same power he had attacked him with. Wang Teng was grateful to have such a powerful opponent, but he was still superior. He easily countered his attack. He decided to end the fight right there, and with a powerful attack, he killed Zhuo Tai. Zhuang He and Su both were intrigued by Wang Teng's power. Mr. Chen was ferocious because Wang Teng had killed his student. Zhuang He stated that it was enough, and Mr. Chen had gone too far. Chen retorted, asking Zhuang He what he meant by enough, and if he truly believed he wouldn't dare to touch him. Zhuang He replied, challenging him to try. As a mentor, they wouldn't sit idly by while Chen made things difficult for a student in the martial arts arena. One teacher remarked that it seemed Teacher Chan deeply cared for his disciple, not wanting to become an enemy of the martial arts club. Another teacher added that Zhuo Tai had died in the battle, and Teacher Chen seemed to lose his composure out of sorrow. Zhuang He then reassured the nervous teachers that it was just a joke, suggesting they take Teacher Chan inside for a good rest. Wang Teng called Mr. Chen. Wang Teng asked if there were no other disciples close to him. He stated that there was no need to arrange challenges. He declared his intent to challenge them all one by one, starting with the 2-star warrior disciples, since he was also at that level. He vowed to continue challenging higher-ranked disciples until all were killed. Chen criticized Wang's arrogance, to which Wang responded by asserting his fearlessness towards threats and his determination to kill anyone who challenged him. He welcomed challengers of equal standing and expressed his intention to eventually challenge Instructor Chen when he reached the 5-star warrior level. Mr. Chen questioned Wang's belief in his invincibility, but Wang remained resolute in his determination to challenge him. Mr. Chen questioned what would happen if he killed him first. He accepted his challenge. Mr. Chen was sure that someone was protecting him from inside the university, but not from the outside, so he decided to attack when the time was right. For now, he left. Wang Teng knew that Mr. Chen would definitely seek trouble with him in the future, but fortunately for him, he would be able to advance to a 5-star martial artist soon. Wang Teng had obtained intermediate gold talent, plus 8 gold sword power skills from his fight with Zhuo Tai. He then decided to go back to have some rest. In his room, he was thinking about the best way to use fire-type swords and gold-type swords. He decided to get a meal, as he had earned a lot of credits. In a room, the deans of all the colleges were having a meeting. The dean of the Martial Arts Academy didn't expect Wang Teng to be the cause of such trouble for him. Heng remarked that Chen Xiangming was finished. Hu commented that Chen deserved it, recalling how he had been terrified on the battlefield and had lost his martial arts will. After returning, Chen relied on his disciples to compete for resources, which Hu saw as cowardice. Juan observed that while Chen might have been behind the scenes and fueling the conflict, it was Zhuotai's choice to fight to the end. Hu noted that Chen had put significant effort into cultivating Zhuotai, hoping for a great reward when Zhuotai achieved a high position, but Wang Teng had shattered those hopes. Lao Peng stated that there was no right or wrong in a martial arts duel, and that one couldn't blame others for losing. Lao Peng then suggested they discuss how to deal with Chen Xiangming. Hu proposed removing Chen as a mentor. Chang Song argued that blatantly threatening students would harm the image of other tutors, and mentioned that some students were already questioning the tutor's authority. Jing pointed out that that would be unreasonable, considering Chen's many years of hard work. Lao Peng decided that Chen would retain his position as a mentor, but would be sent to the foreign battlefield for 6 months to prove himself. Lao Peng then dismissed the meeting, adding that the principal had been notified about Wang Teng and that a decision would be made after the principal's return. A few days later, Wang Teng was at the college mission receiving office. He put his student ID in the machine. There were many types of missions he could do. He decided to take on the Collect Herbs in Chunhua Mountain mission because it was a short-term mission. He then arrived at the place of the mission and told the driver to wait for him and that he would be back before sunset. The driver agreed. Wang Teng asked an elderly woman how he could get to Chunhua Mountain. The auntie responded that the mountains were not safe and suggested he should go home since he was still young. He replied that he had something important to do in the mountains and assured her that he was mentally prepared and wouldn't take unnecessary risks. The auntie mentioned that urbanites didn't heed warnings, noting that 3 young people had insisted on going into the mountain the previous day and had not yet returned. Wang Teng inquired about their appearance and the reason for their entry into the mountain. When the auntie questioned his motive, he explained that he was casually asking and offered her money for the information. The auntie then described that the 3 individuals had been dressed similarly to Wang Teng and had appeared to be carrying weapons. They had claimed they were searching for something in the mountains and had asked local herbal pickers for guidance. Wang Teng pondered that these people might also have been looking for the phantom flame grass and wondered if he would fail his first mission. However, he resolved to continue his search, thinking they might be looking for different things. He then asked if there were any other herbal pickers in the village. The auntie informed him that there were none left except for one family, as few people were willing to venture into the mountain. She mentioned that an old man named Bai and his daughter, who was familiar with the mountain, could be approached for help. He handed auntie a stack of cash and asked for the address of the herbal picker. She responded that he was too polite and offered to take him directly to their home. She escorted him, knocked on the door, and called out for Miss Bai, announcing that someone was looking for her. Bai emerged and inquired if auntie needed anything. Auntie explained that the young man from the city wanted to go into the mountains and was looking for a guide, suggesting they chat. Bai invited the young man inside to discuss the matter further. She mentioned that Aunt Lee had told her he wanted to go into the mountains. He confirmed, explaining he had heard that 3 other young men had entered the mountains in search of phantom flame grass. Bai expressed surprise that he was also looking for the phantom flame grass. He acknowledged that their objectives seemed aligned and inquired if she knew where the grass was. Bai revealed that her father had told her about it, though she had not been there herself. He asked if she had a map of the mountain, to which she replied that they navigated based on experience, despite her lack of first-hand knowledge. She offered to guide him and find her father, but requested payment. He agreed and asked how much she wanted. She nervously suggested that 5,000 or 3,000 would suffice. He agreed to 5,000, promising more if they reached their destination before noon. She agreed, stating she would change clothes and gather tools before they departed. Bai informed her mother that she was going out with a friend to handle something and would have Auntie Lee keep her company. They arrived at the mountain. She warned him to be careful, mentioning the presence of poisonous snakes and insects. He reassured her, suggesting she just pay attention to herself. She informed him that they would pass through a certain area soon, explaining that her dad had taken her through there before. Despite being a difficult path, it was a shortcut. He agreed and told her to lead the way. She thought to herself that he had been walking for a long time without even breathing heavily, wondering if he could be a martial artist. She also considered that the phantom flame grass they were looking for must be very valuable and hoped to pick a couple of stems. He called out to her, pointing out that it was surprising they hadn't seen any other person's footprints along the way. She replied that it had been a really long time since she last came to the mountain with her father and suggested he might have found another route. He cautioned her that her dad wouldn't abandon a familiar path without a reason. She expressed her concern, saying that was the only road she was familiar with, and asked what they should do. He suggested they keep moving forward with caution. On their way, they encountered some holes in the ground, and from those holes emerged poisonous ants. The ants attacked Bai, but Wang Teng managed to save her. She thought they were doomed and cried, stating that it was all because of her, but he simply vaporized the ants with a single attack. She was surprised to find that he was, in fact, a martial artist. He advised her to stop being in a daze and to be careful where she stepped, adding that he wouldn't be able to do anything if a poisonous snake bit her. They then arrived at the location. She noted that her dad had seen phantom flame grass nearby and suggested they search there. She was able to find some, and he decided to go down to get the grass. While he was collecting the grass, a poisonous snake appeared, but he instantly killed it. But then, a lot of snakes appeared and tried to attack him, but he easily killed them also. Bai was amazed. He decided to take some extra grass as there was a lot of grass there. He stated that they should go back. She exclaimed if he was done so quickly. Internally, she pondered how powerful he must be to easily handle the deadly snake. If only she were as strong as him, she could make a lot of money. On their way down, he halted. She inquired why he stopped. He responded that someone was there. She speculated if it could be her dad and the others. Indeed, it turned out to be her dad and the others. She approached her dad and expressed relief that they were all right, mentioning she had been worried all night. Her dad questioned her for entering the mountain despite his warnings. She explained that someone had offered money for her to show him the way, and they had already found the phantom flame grass. The black-haired boy addressed Wang Tang, asking if he had picked up the phantom flame grass. He mentioned that he had indeed collected it, and remarked internally on the newcomers' likely status as martial arts students from another school. The silver-haired boy expressed disappointment at their luck on their first mission, while the black-haired boy insisted they couldn't just retreat. The brown-haired boy inquired if Wang Tang was also gathering the grass for a school task, to which Wang Tang affirmed, asking to be let through as he was in a rush. The black-haired boy then explained their instructor had tasked them with collecting the grass and questioned how they could complete it now that it was taken. Wang Tang retorted, questioning why it should concern him, and drawing a parallel to what they would have done if the situation were reversed. The black-haired boy told his friends there were 3 of them, and only 1 of him, so they should just go and grab it from him. They drew their weapons and attacked, but then suddenly they stopped because a 1-star beast appeared. The 3 were scared to death. The beast attacked Wang Tang. Bai told him to run, but he just one-shotted the beast. Everyone was shocked. Now that the 3 had seen Wang Tang's power, their tone had completely changed. The brown-haired boy said there might have been a misunderstanding between them just now. Wang Tang responded that misunderstandings were not what they claimed a while ago. The brown-haired boy, scared, insisted they meant to say if he picked the phantom flame grass, it was his. The black-haired boy agreed, saying they were the 5 good youths of the new century and would not forcibly take it from him. Wang Tang asked if they did not want to fight. The silver-haired boy replied that they did not. Wang Tang then mentioned that he was thinking of sharing a few with them, but since they did not want it, they could forget it. The 3 then left. Wang Tang told Bai if they could, they should take the flesh and blood of the beast, as it would be of great benefit to them. She agreed and he decided to leave. The 3 boys had reached the foot of the mountain. The black-haired boy expressed that it had been so scary, and that he would definitely keep a low profile whenever he went out from now on, fearing he might run into an expert. The brown-haired boy wondered which school Wang Tang was from, noting how scary he was. The black-haired boy speculated that he might be from a military academy and might participate in that year's national martial arts competition, which would reveal his identity. Wang Tang managed to submit his assignment before the deadline. He was exhausted. He planned on taking a shower and resting, but he was unaware that a mysterious woman was watching him from behind. The woman attacked him. He punched the woman, but she managed to catch his punch. The woman was extremely strong. He attacked her, but she easily stopped his attack. She started throwing one powerful attack after another. He barely missed her attacks. He knew he couldn't win against her. He decided to run to the corridor and shout out loud so someone else could deal with her, as there was no other way he could save himself. But she had already set up a rune formation in advance, so there was no way for him to get out. He decided to face her. He went on the offensive and tried to land a punch, but he ended up almost getting kicked. That was the first time Wang Tang had fear in his eyes while fighting someone, but he was still not ready to give up. He attacked again, but she easily stopped him. She stated that his attack was just flashy and didn't have any actual impact, but his attack was just a distraction. He quickly flashed towards the door and knocked it down. Before he could leave, the woman turned on the lights and stopped fighting because her nail broke. He asked the woman who she was. She told him to guess. He addressed her as Big Sister, which she didn't like, and told him to rephrase his words. Seeing the situation he was in, he called her Miss and asked what she wanted. She said she was informed by Lao Peng that their school had produced an outstanding genius and asked her to come back from the battlefield to have a look. Wang Tang was shocked to hear the dean's name and was about to say who she was, but before he could, she told him that she was the principal of his school. He was more than shocked. At first, he wasn't sure if she was joking or not. He knew the name of the principal was Tantai Xuan, but then Lao Peng came and told him that she was, in fact, the principal, and that she was there to test his abilities. He wondered why she was testing his abilities, even though they had already been completely exposed. She told Lao Peng to stop rambling, assuring him everything was fine and he could go back. She said she would handle Wang Tang's matter, and he should quickly get back to the school's affairs. Lao Peng retorted, pointing out that she had dumped everything on him and disappeared without taking responsibility. She then forcefully kicked him out and told Wang Tang that she trusted Lao Peng to handle everything because he seemed capable. Wang Tang responded sarcastically, asking if Lao Peng should thank her for that. He thought it was rare to see someone speak so openly and honestly about slacking off. He told the principal that if she didn't have anything to do, she should go and rest. He mentioned that he was going to be busy in the morning and needed to prepare for his early classes. The principal responded, asking what the hurry was since they hadn't even talked about the main topic yet. She pointed out that he was quite the hidden talent, being at the level of a 3-star warrior with the strength of a 4-star warrior. She noted that he could still focus on being a multi-attribute warrior and began to calculate, mentioning ice, fire, gold, and wind, and wondering if there was anything else. He thought to himself that these 4 were sufficient, and that other attributes must not be exposed in front of her now. She then said they'd assume it was just the 4 elements for now, acknowledging that every warrior has their own little secrets, and she wouldn't pry too much since it wasn't a big deal. She added that she had encountered a few multi-attribute warriors before, but unfortunately, she had killed them all and couldn't see much of their abilities. He thought that not only did she have a bad personality as a school principal, but she was also ruthless. He asked how many martial artists from the 4 clans had been defeated. She asked if he was afraid of her. He laughed awkwardly and complimented her, calling her a principal of grand stature with unparalleled elegance and charm, and professed his admiration and respect. She called him sweet, but then demanded that he prostrate himself and lower his head. He was taken aback and asked, "What?" She questioned whether he was unwilling, pointing out that as a general-ranked warrior, she had the qualifications to be his master. He thought to himself, wondering how she could think she could become his master. He quickly agreed, saying if she wanted him to be her disciple, she should have mentioned it earlier, as he would have done it already. Internally, he acknowledged her rank and saw becoming her disciple as a strategic move. She noticed his discomfort and asked if he could prostrate himself or not. He suggested updating the tradition by offering her tea and cooking her a meal as a token of appreciation, just as a disciple should. She saw through his ploy and told him if he didn't want to do it, then he didn't have to. He said he'd go make tea for her right away and offered her tea. She noted that he had prepared it properly and suggested holding off on the food for now, explaining that her standards were very high. She would consider it when he reached the level of a master chef. She mentioned that she had never taken on any disciples because it was troublesome, but this time Pang had urged her repeatedly, and she had found him to her liking. He responded with an okay while thinking to himself that she was so arrogant. She then remarked that over the years people used to show off their apprentices in front of her, but now she got to do it. She warned him not to disappoint her, or else he would face consequences. He asked who these people were and how strong their disciples were. She replied that even if she told him, he wouldn't know them, as they were all at the level of battle generals. As for the disciples, she guessed the strongest one had reached the level of a 6-star battle soldier, but that had been half a year ago. He was shocked. She mentioned that being her disciple still had its benefits and brought up what had happened to Chen Xiangming last time. She assured him that if anyone dared to rely on their seniority again in the future, she would take care of them. He responded enthusiastically, saying that she was really kind, and asked if he could use her name as a reference if he ever got into trouble in the future. She acknowledged that he was an unruly kid, but that was exactly what she liked about him. She gave him permission to use her name, adding that those who were afraid of her wouldn't bother, and for those who weren't afraid, it wouldn't make a difference anyway. Wrapping up the conversation, she told him to come to her place the next night, as she had to teach him something. He bid her farewell and in his mind, thought he had finally got rid of the crazy woman and could start picking up the attribute bubbles. He was confused by one of the bubbles. It gave him the black-bellied attribute. He thought about how black-bellied the principal had to have such an overflowing attribute. Then he went to check on his egg. It didn't look damaged, but all of a sudden it started to crack. He first got worried, but then calmed down, realizing the egg could just be hatching. Sure enough, a raven hatched from the egg. He was disappointed that a raven had hatched from the egg of a star beast. He wondered how he was going to feed it. Since it was a star beast, he decided to feed it the meat of the star beast python he had killed. He then went to his master's house. He was surprised by how big it was. He rang the bell. His master answered and told him to sit. She asked him if he would like to eat. She ordered some food as there was nothing in the house. She told him she knew about his powers. He was shocked. She explained that his goal wasn't just to outdo his peers, but to outdo everyone. His competition included young, talented warriors, not just his classmates. She, as the teacher, had met invincible warriors who had even defeated many from the older generations, who now cried for their parents. She said he was her apprentice, and if he wasn't better than her, he wasn't much worse. He thought to himself that this witch talked too much. She added that there was no need to rush because they had such talent in the senior class. She would set a goal for him. He would duel one of the 100 best students every day until he reached the top. He protested, telling her that this would make him a huge target. He didn't want others to resent him. She asked if he was scared and pointed out that if he defeated them all, they would only respect and fear him. The strong stick together so he wouldn't be alone. He reluctantly agreed, and she reassured him that duels were common among warriors. Most would lose, and after a good training session, get back to the arena. There was nothing to worry about. The doorbell then rang. She told him to get the door because she was starving. The man who was delivering the food asked who he was, and he told him that he was her disciple. He brought the food inside. When he opened the food, it was shining like the sun. She told him that the food was a masterpiece of the chef. He asked why the food was shining. She told him that it was because of the chi. He didn't understand. She explained that magic cooking revolved around star beasts and elixirs. With special cooking methods, they stimulated the original chi in the ingredients to achieve the effect of cultivation. That's why the master chef had to be a warrior. He nodded and said he understood, noting that only a warrior could sense and use chi. She added that the mainland could only run this kitchen for so long, making it extremely rare. She told him to come with her because they were going to join another teacher for dinner and then play some sports. He mumbled something about it not being a good idea. She laughed and pointed out how skinny he was. He clarified, chuckling awkwardly, that he meant it wasn't good to exercise right after eating. She mentioned that she wouldn't be handing out personal tips like cultivation methods and warfare strategies that easily. From then on, she'd suppressed her strength and sparred with them to build his fighting awareness and experience. After all, that's what really mattered to a martial artist. Many warriors who came from the battlefield didn't have profound cultivation techniques, but could still easily defeat those so-called talented warriors. Having strength without the necessary combat skills would be pointless, and she didn't want him to become that kind of warrior. Then she told him that that day they would fight, and she attacked him. She was proving to be too strong for him. She was keeping him on his toes without much effort. He realized that she hadn't used much strength the last time they fought. She went on the offensive and sent him flying back. After half an hour, Wang Tang was on the ground. He was knocked out by a brutal attack. She called her disciple foolish, saying it was for his own good. In the future, she explained, he might encounter people who would use deadly force against him. She was just trying to reveal his potential. Then she added that he would be fine and should get some rest. She advised him to go to the pharmaceutical department and buy a bottle of black jade ointment, which would rejuvenate his body and allow him to continue training the next day. He bid his master farewell and went on his way. When he went to buy the ointment, he was outraged by the price, which was 100 credits. But seeing that he didn't have any choice, he decided to buy the ointment. He knew if this kept up, he would need to find a way to make more credits. He went back home and read the instructions on using the ointment. The ointment needed to be used with hot water for best results. He had a feeling that the ointment wouldn't heal him, but he still decided to give it a try. The ointment felt cool and refreshing, but after some time, it started burning. The next day, he was walking down the hall. He didn't expect the cold ointment to boil and sweep through the meridians of his body when it met hot water. After that, he went to the room of the weakest student among the top 100 students. Because he wasn't answering, he thought he was not there, but after some time he came out. He was surprised to see that it was Wang Tang. At first, they had some communication problems, but Wang Tang told him that he was there to challenge him. He laughed at him and accepted his challenge. They both agreed to duel at 7 o'clock at the martial arts arena, and he left. On his way to the duel, he was telling his teacher that he was going to fight the weakest of the top 100 students. He was heard by 2 students who decided to spread the news. He was then stopped by a third year named Zhuge Xiaoliang. Wang Tang asked if he needed something. Zhuge then brought up that Yue Tun wanted to have a martial arts competition with someone, though the opponent was still unknown. Zhuge suggested making a small bet for fun, mentioning that he heard the challenger was very strong and the odds were 3-1. He asked if Wang Tang wanted to play. A boy behind him chimed in, reminding Zhuge how many times he had been caught trying to open bets. Zhuge, unfazed, just asked if they wanted to play or not. The boy decided to go for it, betting 100 credits on Yue Kun to win. Another boy also placed a 100 credit bet on Yue Kun. Wang Tang decided to bet 100 credits on himself. A boy asked him why he was playing even though he knew he was deceiving him. He told him that 100 credits were not a big deal. He then excused himself, telling everyone that he was going to the duel. Everyone was shocked to hear that he was the challenger. Both of them had arrived at the martial arts arena. Almost everyone in the audience thought that Wang Tang would lose. Zhuge, who was in the audience, decided to gather more people to place bets. Kun told Wang Tang that everyone expected him to lose the match, adding that it was such a pity. Wang Tang just shrugged it off, saying he didn't care because he was only there to complete his master's task and didn't need anyone's approval. Kun was getting irritated by his words. Wang Tang quickly apologized. Kun then declared they should fight with all their might, adding that even if he was just there to complete a task, he'd still have to prove he could handle one of the top 100. The fight then began. They both exchanged fists, and both of them were impressed by each other's strength. Kun jumped and was about to smash Wang Tang, but he evaded his attack and started attacking himself. At first, they both were pretty much evenly matched, but as the match continued, Wang Tang was starting to gain the upper hand on him. Kun realized that Wang Tang was treating him like a training partner and got mad. He attacked him with his wild, loin-raging gang fist attack. He didn't even try to dodge. He unsheathed his sword and slashed him, instantly defeating him. Kun was embarrassed that he had lost, so he left. Wang Tang decided to report that day's match to his master. On his way, he was stopped by Zhuge, who was there to give him his credits because thanks to him, he had made a small profit from the bets. Wang Tang mentioned he was planning to challenge more students in the top 100 and asked if Zhuge was interested in teaming up. Zhuge responded enthusiastically, saying he could see that he was capable of achieving great things and had no issue collaborating, but was curious about how they would split the credits. He confidently proposed a 50-50 split, assuring Zhuge of his ability to win against every opponent and leaving it up to Zhuge to trust him. After a brief pause to think it over, Zhuge excitedly agreed. After that, he went to his master's house. She asked how he felt. He mentioned that he didn't feel much, but it did have some effect. She asked if he was feeling proud, and then suggested they head to the training room, eager to see how much he'd improved. The two then clashed, and this time he performed a little better in the fight. After the fight, his master complimented him and reminded him that he needed to fight the 99 Theo-ranked student the next day. He told her that he wouldn't dare forget her instructions. He then went to the 99 Thay-ranked student named Fang Ming and challenged him. He was a little skeptical at first, but when he told him that it was a task assigned to him by his master, he agreed because he wanted to witness his strength. On his way, he was stopped by some strangers who told him that they would come to watch him fight that night. He wondered how those people had found out about him. He contacted Zhuge, and sure enough, it was him who had spread the news. He asked how many people had placed bets. Zhuge replied that around 80 regulars had placed bets, so there was no need to worry. He then wondered what would happen if he got caught. Zhuge responded, saying he might lose credits and face punishment. Concerned, he told Zhuge to slow down with the match promotion to avoid drawing too much attention. Zhuge reassured him, boasting about his experience and urging him to focus on the match that night, promising that as long as he won, they both would profit. The match then started, and he easily won the match. He continued to challenge more people. After a few days, he had beaten the 87th ranked student. He was getting stronger and stronger every day. Then holidays came, and he went to visit his parents. Everyone was happy to see him. His father asked if the creature with him was a crow. He told him that it was a star beast. His father was shocked. He told his son that he must raise and nurture it well. His mom chimed in, mentioning how some of Du Dao's relatives had visited a few days ago and wanted to take her with them, but she didn't want to leave. She didn't like those people very much, thinking they were too conniving. He then declared that Du Dao should be his little sister, and if those people dared to cause trouble, he'd handle it. His dad proudly remarked that his son had become a martial artist and spoke with strength. Then, he asked if the Wang family could expand their business into the world of martial arts. The son responded that there were definitely opportunities out there with medicinal pills, weapons, and even talismans and artifacts being profitable businesses. However, he emphasized that this matter needed careful consideration, and they should wait until he had enough strength to protect the family, otherwise they might end up as someone else's pawn. His father praised him for always thinking things through and assured him that they trusted him with the future of the Wang family. The son humbly replied that his dad was the pillar of the family, and he still had much to learn from him. The next day, Wang Tang went to meet the team captain as they had planned to go to the other world together. When he arrived, he overheard a boy arguing with the captain. The boy was saying that Captain Lin shouldn't pretend to have forgotten their agreement. His master knew the team had just lost a member and wanted to join. He asked why he wouldn't agree. Captain Lin replied that they had new team members now. The boy shot back, saying he knew it was that martial arts exam top scorer, but he was only a 1-star warrior while his master was a 3-star warrior. It was obvious his master was more suitable for the team. The boy accused Captain Lin of banking on Wang Tang's potential, pointing out that martial arts exam champions popped up every year but none stood out. Those who adapt never fall behind. Captain Lin stood firm, stating there was no need for them to say anything else and that they wouldn't carelessly abandon any team members. The boy's master then chimed in, expressing his frustration and saying that rejecting him so publicly made him lose faith and that he had a lot of nerve. The boy added that his master was a high-ranking consul of the Polaris Martial Arts Academy, and it didn't seem wise to reject his young master for Wang Tang, who had no background. Captain Lin responded by asking if he was trying to threaten him. He revealed that Wang Tang had been placed on their team by Master Fu, and if they had any objections, they should talk to him. This statement scared the boy. His master huffed and said that if that was the case, they should forget it then. The two then decided to leave. Wang Tang then went towards Zhan. He asked him about what was happening just then. Zhan told him about the entire situation, and they decided to leave. The team was surprised that he had a star beast with him. Zhan looked wide-eyed at the creature and asked Wang Tang where on earth he had found it. Yan, equally astonished, mentioned that the star beast actually recognized Wang Tang as its owner. Wang Tang then asked if it was really that rare for a star beast to bond with its owner. Zhan told him that it was quite rare, noting that they rarely encountered baby star beasts. If they did encounter some, most of them were still mentally underdeveloped. But his bird looked smart right off the bat. Zhan suggested getting a spiritual pet contract from Fu Baoge to bind it with the star beast for extra security. He agreed. They then went to Fu Baoge to get the contract. Wang Tang told a lady there about what he wanted. The lady told him to follow her. She was going to notify the supervisor because he was the only one who had the authority to access the contract. The supervisor introduced himself as Li. He showed him the contract he wanted. He asked for the price. He told him that the price was 130 million. He was shocked by the price. He thought it was too expensive. Li told him that the price was not expensive, as the spirit pet contract was made by the famous symbol Master Ling Shu. Yan and Zhan confirmed that it was indeed made by Grandmaster Ling Shu and that the price was fair, so Wang Tang decided to buy it. After getting the contract, they went on their mission. Their mission was to help the dwarves in the Red Maple Hills clear out the swarm of swift wind mantises. Yan told Wang Tang that because they hadn't arrived at the Red Maple Hills, he should bind a spirit pet contract with the Star Beast. He agreed and did so. After doing so, he felt a subtle spiritual connection between him and the Star Beast. Suddenly, he could perceive his Star Beast's vision. He was amazed. He asked Zhan about the effects of the spirit pet contract. Zhan told him that it allowed the user to sense the emotions of the spirit pet, and asked him if there were any other effects. He lied to him and told him that there were no other effects. He thought that the effect he gained was probably the spirit vision eye that allowed him and his Star Beast to empathize. Suddenly, the team was attacked. They were being followed by some people who wanted to take them down. Zhan wasn't able to shake them off. Yan decided to jump in and attack the enemies, but she wasn't able to do much damage. The enemies were ganging up on them. Wang Tang decided to join in. He was able to shoot one of the drivers. Yan complimented his shooting skills. Wang Tang and Yan decided to have a competition to see who could get the most kills. The firepower was becoming too fierce for the enemies. One guy was about to shoot a rocket launcher at them, but Zhan managed to save them. All of them then got out of their cars. Zhan was really angry. He attacked 3 men. While he was fighting, a guy came up to Wang Tang looking for a fight. He thought he could easily defeat him because he considered him a 1-star warrior, but before he could do anything, Wang Tang killed him in a matter of seconds. The other men who were with that guy got scared because the man Wang Tang had just killed was a 2-star warrior. They decided to run, but Wang Tang killed them all, excluding one. He begged for his life. Wang Tang told him that if he answered his questions, he might spare him. He agreed. Wang Tang asked who had sent him. The man replied that it was Master Yao from Yang City, who made deals with many martial artists. He had asked them to attack several teams of martial artists with less than 4-star ratings who had returned from the Misty Forest 3 months ago. Zhan then asked if Wang Tang had finished over there as well. He responded, asking if the captain had resolved the situation on his end. Zhan confirmed, and he explained that the man had said they were sent by the head of the Yao family in Yangcheng to intercept them. Yan mentioned that the son of the Yao family's head was killed in the Misty Forest last month, and the culprit couldn't be found. Wang Tang chimed in, noting that the head of the Yao family decided to take action and not let it go unpunished, leading him to ambush and kill all the warriors who came back from the Misty Forest at that time. Jin Yue commented that the person responsible for the wrongful act must be held accountable, and that the Yao family head had cruelly and indiscriminately killed innocent people without reason. Jin Ming added that although the world of martial artists is about survival of the fittest, this kind of behavior was truly despicable. Wang Tang asked the man to tell them the strength of the Yao family. He mentioned that the strongest member of the Yao family was the family head, who was at the 6-star warrior level. The rest of the family included 4 5-star warriors and 8 or 9 4-star warriors. Yan pointed out that the Yao family held a lot of power and admitted it might be tough to fight them, but suggested they should just keep surviving. Since there was no more information the man could provide them, Wang Teng killed him. After all that, they went to the Red Leaf Hills to complete their mission. There, a dwarf named Nia greeted them and told them that their dwarf warriors were on their way to clear out the Wind Valley and that they would be joining forces with them. All of them then met the dwarf warriors. One of the dwarf warriors named Vak was unsure if the team could complete the mission and pointed out that Wang Teng didn't look strong. Nia shouted at Vak for being rude and apologized for Vak's rude behavior. Nia told them that the Gale Wolf had taken over their wheat field and that their leader was a 3-star beast, very fast with sharp front claws and its body green. So it would be difficult to spot it in the fields. She told everyone to be careful. The team then started searching. Wang Teng came across a Gale mantis and easily killed it. John also found one and killed it. He warned everyone that only one of the Gale mantis's forelegs posed a greater threat to them, so they should cut them off first. Vak was amazed by the team's strength. Nia told everyone not to let their guard down because the Gale Mantis King could appear anytime. Wang Teng wondered why he hadn't already come across the Gale Mantis King, but then the Gale Mantis King appeared behind Nia. It was about to kill her, but thanks to Wang Teng's great reflexes, he managed to save her. He instantly killed the Gale Mantis King. Nia was shocked by Wang Teng's strength. She thanked him for saving her. Wang Teng gained 36 points of Wind Attribute Fundamental Energy and a Gale Stealth skill. Everyone then quickly looted the battlefield and collected all the valuable body parts of the Gale Mantises. After completing their mission, they went to the Polaris Academy branch in the alternate dimension. There, a man approached John. John asked who he was. He told him that he was a platoon leader from the Crimson Tiger Legion and that he was carrying out a special mission. He notified them that their War Tiger squad had been recruited by him. Jean asked what the army wanted to recruit them for, but he refused to tell, saying that it was classified information. Wang Teng knew that the army wouldn't recruit independent martial artists unless there was an emergency. He asked the officer to tell them what the reason was because they would be putting their lives in danger. He insulted Wang Teng, calling him a rookie, but when Wang Teng showed his badge, he was surprised to find they were of the same rank. Calming down a bit, he apologized. They moved to a quieter spot to talk. He then explained the reason for their recruitment. The army was enlisting independent martial artists because they had discovered a group of miasmic ghouls. Among these ghouls, there was a high chance of encountering high-grade fiends. These fiends had intelligence and were no different from ordinary humans, even managing to tempt some humans into becoming their spies. John was shocked to hear that. Wang Teng wondered if his strength would be enough for the foe they were about to face.